we're going to watch this video here and talk about it. Again, to preface this before anybody says anything fucking faggoty, I've always maintained that I didn't want Eric going through this lawsuit and hoped it would be resolved quickly. I thought there was some admittedly funny potential that he or his fans would drive this lawsuit into validity, but it seems like they've resolved that, and I'm glad for that. So that's good. He needs to move on from this. He needs to stop focusing on this bullshit. He needs to just make stuff and make money. So here we go. Here's his thing.
What's up, y'all? I'm Eric July, the founder and owner of the Rippaverse. Today, I have some fantastic news, but first, let me set the scene. As many of you know, there was an active lawsuit between us and Good Shepherd Ministries. Good Shepherd Ministries was founded in the 1990s by Reverend Dr. Berwin Gilfillan, and he continues as its leader to this day.
Shout out to that guy for shouting out me. That guy's cool. This is not muted. Don't lie to me.
Shepherd has an international school of ministry and registered its trademark Isom many years ago for its various activities and efforts in its ministries.
And we didn't go ahead and check that and do anything about it when we titled our comic Isom. There are missteps here. We have to acknowledge missteps. For people who don't want to acknowledge missteps, like, you got to do it. Even if you're on Eric's side, you got to acknowledge it's a huge misstep, and it probably cost him a shitload of money that shouldn't have been spent. But I am glad it's resolved. But fucking hell, like, dude, like, you could have avoided this just by calling it The Amazing Adventures of Isom or whatever. Avery Brooks, whatever is fuck. Not Avery Brooks. That's Captain Ben Sisko or whatever. Avery Knox, right? Like, you could have done that, but whatever. Here we go.
Rippaverse has a character by the name of Avery Sealman. His heroic name is Isom, and it is not an acronym. Isom is named after a real person whose name was Isom Knox and is my great-great-great-grandfather.
None of that is relevant to a trademark. In fact, the fact that it was an acronym versus a non-acronym is not relevant to a trademark issue. But he's going to run with, like, it's fine that he's running with this, but just to explain the legal matter behind this, that doesn't matter. They've gone with this. Like, you can trademark a real person's name, even if you're not that real person, if you have created the thing and it's sufficiently distinct. Now, can you trademark like John Smith? That's a lot fucking harder than trademarking Isom Knox or Isom, which is only part of Isom Knox, when you don't know that he exists. The fact that this has been like one of the long-standing arguments in favor of Isom not being trademark infringement is so batshit fucking retarded that I can't stand it. It's irrelevant to the trademark issue. Isom is not Isom Knox. Isom the comic is just Isom. If it was Isom Knox as a comic, it would be less compelling of a title, but also not trademark infringement. It would be obviously not trademark infringement. But Isom, the ministry, has registered Isom with periods as the acronym, and also Isom without periods as the non-acronym. This is settlement. This is not a legal question as to who is right. The legal question as to who is right is up in the air, mostly favoring Eric, but not because of this reason, but because it's hard to find customer confusion, despite how hard they tried to make customer confusion a real thing. That being said, the onset, Isom, was not a product of the International School of Ministry, and most objective or even semi-objective analysis would support that. But they tried so goddamn hard to intertwine Isom the comic book with Isom the ministry that they started to make the case. But if he had named it Isom Knox, the name of the person, that was not a registered trademark, there would never have been any conflict. But Isom Knox is not a compelling comic book name. Isom, 2 syllables, 4 letters, in a cool, important, impact font is great. Like, that's marketable. If you put Knox underneath it, it becomes less marketable, and everybody, it's obvious, which is why you want it to be Isom. But if you named it Isom Knox, which is the name of a real person, you would have not had a trademark issue ever. It wouldn't have been the same thing, because it's not the same thing. But he's running with these half arguments that they've had. This is irrelevant to the settlement. The settlement is good news. I have to maintain this because I'm going to fucking criticize all these weird things because I can already see it. Eric has an incessant need to prove that he was right on the issues. Settlement does not mean you were right on the issues. Settlement means you're right on the concept in agreement with the other party, which says that we can provide value without taking value from you. And any value we take, we will compensate sufficient to whatever. Who knows what that answer is? All right. We don't know because it's confidential. But that being said, it does not mean your legal argument was solid. And the idea that Isom Knox is a real name of a real person does not mean you cannot trademark Isom. You cannot go to this ministry that's owned a 25-year trademark, challenge your trademark, be like, my great grandpappy's name was Isom Knox, therefore you can't trademark Isom. The court would laugh you out of the fucking room. They would laugh you out of the room. Because that means you could just name someone Nike and invalidate the trademark of Nike. That's fucking retarded. But that isn't, he has to, and this is one of the big problems that Eric has had in this whole thing. He has to maintain and sustain the bad argument for no reason anyone can discern. He's doing it here. And this is what drives me crazy about this issue. You don't have to defend it. You won the settlement. That's great. You got the thing you asked for. Don't try and justify your naming of Isom by your relative because your relative is unrelated to the trademark of the International School of Ministry and your access to that trademark. They're not the same thing. They are not important in any way. The settlement is important. Focus on how you two came to an agreement. Focus on how, despite what your fans have tried to do to this ministry, you're reasonable men of God, as you said in your description. Focus on that shit. And the benefit, stop trying to defend yourself. You never had to defend yourself in the first fucking place. You didn't try to do anything wrong. You just maybe didn't do enough research on doing the right thing. And this here is the problem with all YouTube content creators. Just go to the good. Stop trying to justify your actions. Your actions were dumb. It's okay. You had a thing that you built. It was great. You were scared you were going to lose it. Your actions were fucking retarded. That's fine. Don't try to justify them by the settlement that's unrelated to those actions.
Was born way back in the 1800s. Some of this dispute played out in public, and of course, everybody had their opinion.
Why? Why did it play out in public? Never mind.
On what they wanted to be the outcome. Despite this being such a hyper divisive world.
Wait a minute, dude. Again, Eric's opinion on what should be the outcome was we will never settle. We will fight for this, right? Like, I'm glad he settled, but that was the messaging. He said that the ministry was wrong. He's questioned their godliness. He calls them men of God now. You want to go back? Do we need to roll back the tape to when he talked about how could a Christian ministry possibly sue another Christian, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? How could they sue anybody? Question their sincerity as a Christian. And again, I hate doing this. But I'm reacting to what he's putting on screen. What he's putting on screen is dishonest. Why? It is perfectly acceptable to accept a posture and then change position because the other party is reasonable when you thought they were being unreasonable. But don't act like what other people said. You said it. You said you weren't going to settle. You said you weren't going to do this. You questioned their credibility as a Christian organization because they dared to sue you. Stop. Why are you doing this? Why do this fucking thing? You don't have to. You don't have to do this. And again, I don't dislike Eric. I really don't. But I hate when people do this shit. Just literally pretending the history of this didn't happen. It's fucking nuts. All right, here we go. Back to this.
Men of God were able to come to a mutually.
You questioned their man of God status. Like you openly questioned it and your fans flat out called them fake Christians. I fucking hate this. Like I don't like this. This is this thing that bothers me about this industry. It's like, let's pretend I didn't literally say, how could a Christian organization do this? And then have hundreds of fans comment all over. As a Christian, these people are terrible, terrible Christians. Call them phonies and frauds and shysters and grifters and whatever. Like, stop it. Stop it, stop it, stop it.
Beneficial, simple understanding. There are no losses here, and neither the Rippaverse nor Good Shepherd admit to any wrongdoing. As this
is literally part of the fucking agreement. That's boilerplate. Tom, neither party admits to any wrongdoing. That's because you're settling prior to the resolution of the conflict. You're saying none of us admit to any wrongdoing, because if the settlement is, here's why, by the way, neither Rippaverse or Good Shepherd Ministries admit to any wrongdoing. That's because if you don't fulfill whatever promises you make in the settlement, but you had admitted to wrongdoing, you'd expose yourself to liability otherwise. So they don't admit to wrongdoing, because if either one of them fails to fulfill their promises in the settlement, which is basically just a contract, they have to be able to go back and say, yeah, but they were wrong and I wasn't. They have to go back to that underlying issue. Failing to settle the agreement and the underlying issue are two different things. So this is a boilerplate. Whatever. Neither of us admit to wrongdoing. Great. No one ever admitted to wrongdoing in the lawsuit in the first place. Why are you defending it?
This played out, both parties understood that it was best we resolve this outside the courts, especially as Christian men. Let me explain.
Are they Christian men? Yes, of course it was better resolved outside the courts. That's what they said. Your guys failed to respond, which is the only reason they persisted in this, is because you guys failed to respond, because you took a stupid position of being super overt and angry on this when it was obvious you could probably just negotiate this shit down.
Some things. Both Dr. Gilfillan and I wanted to resolve this amicably. And the more we converse, the more obvious the common ground is. They respect our business and what it is that we've accomplished as independents, and the Rippaverse has no issues with Good Shepherd and finds their mission to be admirable. So
oh my God! God fucking damn it! Does it? Does it really? Should we go to the fucking tape? Why? 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 I'm not pulling up shit. You can look at old videos. I don't fucking care. I don't fucking care. I hate YouTube. I hate it.
regardless of the circumstances that brought us here, we made the most of it. We sought to further ensure the distinction between Good Shepherd's International School of Ministry, Isom, and the Rippaverse character known as Isom. Both parties will continue to do their own.
Doesn't matter that you had a character known as Isom. It matters they branded the fucking comic Isom. I'm cool. I'm cool. Hold on just a second. I'm fucking cool. We're fucking cool. Guys, we're fucking cool. None of this matters. Very happy that this shit is over. I legitimately am. It's just such an easy fucking video to do. It's such an easy fucking video to do. Voyager says EVS is in the chat. I don't think EVS is. Oh, fuck. God damn it. He is. Ethan, you want to come on and comment on this? We're over 3 hours. I wasn't going to be on 3 hours at all. You want to come on? I'd be up at 8 in the morning. I'm going to do this. Let's do this. I'm going to send you a message. I'm going to send you a Twitter DM. This is a fucking infuriating. This is the easiest fucking video to do on the planet. Why?
things, staying in their own separate and unique lanes. We both have agreed to take steps to avoid any confusion between our respective future uses of Isom. However, the Rippaverse maintains that there was never any actual confusion in the first place. We only come to this conclusion due to the willingness of both parties to resolve this amicably, and we wish each other well in our respective future endeavors.
That's the end. Ethan, Uncle Ethan, what the fuck? What did I just watch?
Well, you just watched the settlement ordered, right? Apology video, that was presented as a victory video to his fans. His fans,
fucking, like, look, I'm here.
Yeah,
I've maintained this position the whole time. I wanted Eric to not have it. You remember this?
Oh yeah.
I didn't want this shit because I know what, like, I'm in a frivolous lawsuit. I never thought that the Isom ministry's position was good. You had a different perspective.
I disagree. I think they absolutely did have every right to sue him for trademark infringement.
We disagreed on this.
Yeah,
and then, but
I disagreed with you. I was pretty sure, just based on the fact that they had the right to make comic books over at Isom and the Isom ministry. And Eric was out there associating the word Isom, the brand Isom, with so much toxic, what people would call toxic shit. Yeah. Which nobody wants. I'm all for it. I love the cultural war. But, like, a ministry doesn't want to be anywhere near that shit.
No, they want liberal Christians and conservative Christians.
Right. So they have a different mission than we do and that Eric does.
And so... This is the fundamental disagreement between us, but you actually had started to convert me. You challenged, because you, like, while I'm a lawyer, I have my legal perspective, but part of doing law, though, as you know, practical law is different than being a lawyer in concept, right? And so I go, well, there's no brand confusion here, like, really. Like, there's a ministry, they give these pamphlets to churches for free. This guy is selling these books on a crowdfunding campaign. You go. And you're like, but listen, the negativity. But
here's my point of view about that. Beyond the negativity, we didn't know. None of us understood. When Eric announced this comic book, and we were all very excited about it, everybody searched the internet. They searched Google to find out, why won't Eric tell us what Isom means? What is it? He's clearly a Christian superhero. He's got a cross on his belt. And the first thing that popped up when you Google, you find Isom, the church, the ministry, the International School of Ministry, and everyone who searched, and I saw it all over the internet, said, Eric must be partnered with the International School of Ministry to make a superhero comic. That's cool. But he got a little bit of extra funding there. It's probably going to have a religious theme. And so, provably, there was brand confusion. We were all confused. Eric didn't say anything about his grandfather or any of these things. Isom is just his name. That's all. He didn't say anything like that. He was very mysterious about it, which led a lot of people towards confusion.
Now, I did see, like, I saw it back at the beginning when someone showed me the old tweet. Now, to be very clear, the old tweet Eric did had what we would call a hater, and probably a pile of garbage, point out that he might be infringing on this trademark, and he ignored it. And a lot of people did, because the person who sent it was not a good faith actor. But that doesn't matter to the ultimate result, because a bunch of good faith actors in the Twitter thread did Google it, and they're like, hey, actually, like, this is a thing that exists. There's a trademark that's existed for a long time. And he kind of just ignored all that and did whatever. But that being said, there is this idea, like, brand confusion. You think of it generally as, if I go to the store and I look at these two things on the shelf, am I confused?
Right.
Well, I can kind of see how Isom gets confused with a pamphlet about ministry. Mm-hmm. If you go, well, maybe they made a comic book, but it's a little bit of a bridge. I'm not saying it's an impossible bridge, but it's a little bridge. But then you brought up this point, though, that I had not considered initially, which was, is their incessant negativity and their boisterous behavior linking this ministry to negativity that they wouldn't have otherwise had? And that was weird, because it was. And that's when I started to change my mind. And again, I'm not a trademark attorney, not a patent attorney or whatever. I give my opinions based on legal principles, but you give your opinions based on experience in trademark. Like you've had to fight trademarks. You've talked to plenty of trademark attorneys
many times.
and they go through these, they have to go through these more abstract legal questions. Like how do we show that they're fucking with our thing that we own? And that's a different perspective. And so you had kind of converted me that there may be a case there. And then it only kind of grew after that, which is great. But what drives me fucking nuts is he's doing this hostage video on the settlement. And he's pretending that all of the things he said literally didn't happen. And like, why? Why is this like, why is this a thing? What happened there, Ethan?
Well, the only thing that they said was, listen, you know, you're going to have to, one of the things, the stipulations, you're going to have to fix the damage that you did to our ministry by calling us fake Christians and all of these things.
That was wild.
Yeah, and so he's like, "Oh, I'll make a video. You got to make a video, and in the video, you have to say we're good Christians. Okay, you have to say that to your fans, and you have to calm them down so they stop attacking us, because they were. I mean, they were demonized." And so Eric makes a video, and they don't tell you exactly what, you know, how to say it. You're allowed to frame it the way that Eric did, which is we're best friends now.
You can picture the Irish Christian pastor with a cross, like off screen, like he's ISIS, like with an AK, except it's a crucifix. He's like, Jesus Christ died for your sins. And Eric's like, okay, we have to go ahead and explain this, like why we spent so much time questioning their Christianity and saying they're not legitimate Christians, and then going, oh, wait a minute, yeah, like no, that was kind of bad. That was kind of a bad thing.
Well, I think his lawyers reined him in. You know, ultimately, I think
the agreement reined him in.
Well, what do you mean by that? You think he saw what the offer was and he went, I can do that? You think so?
Well, I think basically Isom said, look, you have two options here. You're going to pay us 20, 25, 30% of all revenue, not profits. You're going to pay us 20, 25, 30% of all revenue as a charitable donation from all these things that you use to profit from Isom, or you're going to go ahead and make this apology video. And here's a question that's been floated, Ethan. So there's a 16-minute video that I haven't watched called Now That We're Past This. Have you watched that one?
I hear it's about me.
Oh. So you've only watched a 2-minute video?
I watched a 2-minute video. People said, that other one, Ethan, you know, wow, you should watch it. I'm thinking about EFAPing it. The problem with EFAPing it is that, you know, I share an audience with him. Yeah. So people just kind of go, they haven't really seen through any of this shit yet. They think that when I comment on the lies, the absolute lies, that it's out of jealousy. So that kind of boxes you in terms of commentary and what you can do. So no, I haven't watched it yet, but we could take a look at it, I guess.
Jeff and 4Pod says he tries to call it both Raggets and EVS. Should we look at this thing?
All right. Yeah. Okay.
You got a minute?
Yeah.
You got 16 minutes, 27 seconds.
It'll stretch out longer than that, but sure, my friend.
Look, that's what I say to all the women and men. I'm an equal opportunity stretcher.
This is behind us and we are moving forward. I have a couple of things to say to all my haters out there that are dead set on targeting me.
You know what? Why
even my family.
This?
Look,
pause this for 1 second.
Yeah.
I have infinite haters myself. I don't think about them. I mostly think about my customers. And if I'm going to put out a video, 9 times out of 10, it's going to be a video that's going to try to draw my customers closer to me, not attack my haters all the time. Why do this? He lives in a world where he's like persecuted and needs to respond to his haters.
He grew his channel based on monetizing the haters and being very good because, let's be honest, his haters were functionally fucking retarded, right? Like, not in the like real way, but in the funny way. Like they're the dumbest people on the planet. And they'll come out and they'll do these videos. They'll be like, Eric July is stupid for hating Marvel because Marvel loves its customers. And you're like, they don't, though. Like, objectively, they don't like them. So then Eric will come out and he'd do this thing. He'd go after these people who were like 26 IQ and he'd roast them. And it was good. It's good videos. One of my favorite ones is he roasts this guy Josie, who has like 3,000 subscribers, but like a $75,000 studio. You're like, why do you have this?
Yeah, I saw that guy. Yeah,
it's a great video. And he fucking goes on his show and he just destroys him. It's like, well, that was perfect. And that's what he did, because he like fight and scrapped for his way to every subscriber. But now, once you transition into making comic books that do $3 million crowd funds, like you cannot keep doing that, because like while it was funny, you might be wrong. Right? Like you might be wrong and someone could check the record or whatever. I don't know why he's doing this. It doesn't benefit him. It doesn't benefit his fans. The other video really didn't either, but it was probably part of the settlement.
No, I think the other one did benefit him. He was able to do, he's able to frame the settlement video, which would have been a humiliation, as a victory lap.
Well,
which is something that, listen.
It's only the settlement, though, that serves. And anybody who looks at that thing goes, okay, but I remember everything you said.
No, they don't. That's what's...
Well, I do, though, Ethan.
I do, too, but they don't. They're just like, now what's Nick Rekieta going to say? Nick Rekieta crying tears, salty tears.
It's the funniest thing, because I was always like, whatever it is, I don't want Eric to be in a trademark dispute. I just want him to go. I want him to win. I don't give a shit. Like, I just want this to not happen. Like, Nick's going to be mad about the settlement. Why would I be mad? I want the settlement. I'm mad about his representations a little bit, because, like, dude, I remember, like, I covered this. I remember what you said, and now you're saying the opposite. It's fucking driving me crazy. Here we go.
The internet is a place where people gravitate towards the commentators that they favor. And though these commentators vary in opinion and approach, one thing is understandably common amongst them all: their followers.
Wait, what?
He's got to back up from the camera. I'm serious. Like, he's right in my face.
You're right in my face. You're bigger than him.
No way. Well, I'm not as oppressive. I don't know what it is. It's the puffy cheeks and the
very racist.
The I can't.
I'm just messing with you. I'm fucking with you.
Back up a little bit.
Thank you. Look at all that. I don't want to call it white. Look at all the space over here, though. There's a lot of negative space filled up by a random abstract art piece blurred out.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's a weird background, but
I guess this is YouTube. This is what you're supposed to do. I don't know.
I don't know, because like other I was talking about this earlier. Other YouTubers have this like wide shot with like their whole bodies, and I've never understood that, because then I look at that, I'm like, why is my head so tiny?
Yeah.
Like, I want you to look at my mouth and hope that it's on you. Here we go.
Of course, cherish and value their word. And let's be honest, sometimes folks just take the word of the people they favor, no matter how factually incorrect that they are.
You rely
That's
on
the
it.
most ironic
That's
statement
so
in this
amazing.
video. Are you kidding me, Eric? Come on, Eric, stop it. Stop. You can't just, geez, like, you don't have. Would you love to do this victory lap, though? And just flat out say that, knowing exactly what the truth is about that statement?
Mm-hmm. Be so fun, dude. If you had no shame at all, God, life would be so
damn
great.
Especially if that commentator is speaking about someone you dislike, like me. As I've said before, some people will never be able to see me as anything other than a YouTube comic book commentator that would occasionally monetize a hater. And though I've done far more than that over the last 18 years, it can be difficult for people to see me in a light that differs from how they.
He zoomed in. He zoomed in from what you said. Like, I was a fan of the negative space with the abstract blurb painting. Yeah.
And though some people may only see me as EVS superstar comic book legend, other people.
You know, I love that where he's like, he says the thing. He's like, well, like, people have framed me as a person who has, occasionally on random occasion interacted with haters, but I've done way more than that. Like,
some people have framed me as somebody who interacts with the haters, but I've done way more than that. I've done a lot of shit in that.
He zooms in to try and make him false. He's like, this isn't tomato soup anymore, ladies and gentlemen. This is chicken noodle. What happened? Why is that? Why are you? I don't understand. Like, I don't understand the concept of this video. We're a minute in. Here we go.
Discovered me. So they don't see me as a multi-million-dollar business owner. They never can see me as that. They see me as a man that just outkicked his coverage. To them, everything I do is wrong. And if the commentator that you're...
Why is he crying like this?
What is this? This is the weirdest thing. Anybody who saw you as a man who outkicked his coverage, that's an honor. That's an honor.
That's a nice thing.
Dude, I have outkicked my coverage by 1,000,000,000%. Haven't you?
With my wife.
Well, with your wife, but also your your channel and your comics and everything, right?
Sure. Yeah.
You reframed comics, Ethan. You went from this thing where you're a slave to a corporation, selling them everything that you create, while making some wage that is.
This is like a toast to a seeing eye dog. This is almost as good. Thank you very much. I'm about to cry. That was really good. I was weeping in the chat.
I should just do toast all day, but
no, you should stand over my coffin and then deliver my eulogy, because there won't be a dry eye in the house.
Dude, if you put in your will that I'll do your eulogy, I will.
I would love that.
But no, I'm it's the weirdest fucking thing on the planet, because you have taken this thing of being a comic creator for DC for a wage. You said, actually, I could do it better if you just let me go. And you go to YouTube and you way outkick your coverage on the business. You redefine the business. You're an inspiration to other professional comic artists who just, the only reason they haven't done what you do is they haven't been canceled, right? And so they're like, no, I like my safety blanket. And you're like, you don't need a safety blanket. Here's a whole house that is safe. It's bigger than your blanket. And they're like, no, I like this blanket that doesn't even go to my butthole. And it's like, it just covers my shoulders and I'm warm. And you're like, no. If you just listen, I know the blanket is comfortable, but if you just try, you're famous. You make you draw the greatest properties that exist. Your name exists and people know you. If you just do this thing and you do it well, you'll do better. And they go, no, I gotta say that Donald Trump is bad. And you're like, well, why would? So you're literally this inspirational guy who has outkicked his coverage by redefining the profession. But also, of course, on your wife. Like, I've seen you. I look at you and I'm like, why would any woman?
Yeah.
Like, I can understand guys like who are donut chasers or whatever. They're after you.
Right.
But like women, I don't get it. They're like,
she loves me. God, she's a great woman.
I can't wait to meet her. She seems cool. Yeah. But that being said, like, it's such a weird thing. Like, no, we all respect that you outkicked your coverage. No one is saying that negatively ever. And he's like, they'll never see me as like this millionaire business creator. No, like we all do. And we all wonder why you're doing this right now. Because you are literally the multimillionaire business creator.
No, I mean, Nick, is this the conversation of somebody that's got multi-millions in the bank from his business right now? Is this the actions of somebody who's doing well? I mean, just speculate.
I'm shocked at it because I'm like,
it doesn't make sense.
Why do you do like if you are the multimillionaire, then everybody sees your crowdfunding campaign.
Yeah.
Like they're public. That's Eric July. Like, oh my God, this guy has far outkicked his coverage. He has a $24 million yacht. But Eric July is public. That's the thing. We can all look at the amount of money he's made and go, holy shit, this guy did it. The not Lay's potato chip guy, you're like, I don't even know that potato chips other than Lay's exist.
They don't cost very much to make potato chips. They're very inexpensive to make. Inexpensive product.
You just get Irish people and Ukrainian people to harvest them, the potatoes.
That's it. Yeah.
And then you get Mexicans to shave them. And then you get Italians to fry them with all their body grease.
Fond of speak so confidently about me,
be right back.
You don't even consider if they're talking out their behind. That's because you value their opinion over mine. And there's a special
Ethan, he teleported away like Goku. Here we go.
Seems to apply in an instance that I don't say anything in response. But as I've said before,
wait. Hey, Ethan, have you ever seen a scenario where Eric doesn't respond?
He responds.
He just said that, well, because I might not respond. Have you ever actually encountered that area where Eric doesn't respond? He responds to dudes with 500 subscribers.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Move a lot differently now that I employ so many people. You must stop expecting me to sling mud with others. But just because I don't respond doesn't mean that I don't see it. It also doesn't mean that the nonsense levied at
Why are you watching all this stuff about yourself? Why are you watching?
I
Just because I respond, that's not a brag. Like, just because I respond doesn't mean I don't see it. Why do you see it? Why do you see it? Why do you care? Like, you're a multimillionaire making millions of dollars on every comic book. Why are you Why are you thinking about it? It's fucking weird. God damn it.
Me isn't hogwash. It was quite interesting to watch people that have no idea what they're talking about insist that I'm the one moving with incompetence and going as far as to say that I'm going to bankrupt my company. Why would I say this? He shouldn't have done that. Dramatics over nothing burgers. And so,
any opinion on that statement, Ethan?
Well, I mean, I do know what I'm talking about. I'm in the very same business. And one of the things that I told Eric was when we were talking was I said, you don't need to be transparent with where your money's going. Now, I think we should be transparent. That's the difference between my company and yours. I said, I'm not telling nobody what we're doing with the money, what our expenses are. That's ridiculous. He put out a full expense report, which revealed that he's spending $300,000, between $300,000 and $500,000 a quarter on payroll.
A quarter?
A quarter.
Wait,
And
hold
when
on. You're telling me that Eric July put out an expense report that says he's spending between $300,000 and $500,000 a quarter, which means, I don't do math. I'm not Asian. $2 million a year on payroll.
Right. Yeah.
How much did Alpha Core number 1 do so far?
1.1, I think.
1.1 million.
Yeah.
It's a success. I'm told it's a success.
Nick,
What?
I'd be terrified if I were him. And the thing about it is that you've got like 15 employees in the warehouse. 15 employees so that you can ship on time. I do this. I understand. I've only got 3, and it's extremely expensive to just have 3. And the consequences for that is that it takes longer to ship out, you know.
How many of them are personal pie assistants, Ethan? How many of them just bring you a French cook every Wednesday?
When we're done fulfillment, maybe they could bring me pies. That would be fine. I'll use them for that. But
300 to 500 grand, 15 employees?
This is why you don't show people your expenses. People don't need to know that, but we now know that. We know what he spends on comics because he revealed that. He said that, his comic books cost $2.50 to print.
I have heard that independent of you. I've actually, someone reached out to me, an independent creator. They said, I use the exact same printer and production company that Eric used. And he said, it's $2.50 per comic to create.
Right.
He's like, that's what I paid with this company. Now, is it possible that creator didn't sell as many comics, so Eric got a better deal?
Well, it doesn't matter. Eric said he said I had to buy this many comics and it cost me this much, and then all you do is a simple division trick, and you learn that it's $2.50. So relative to somebody else. My comics cost about between $5 and $8 to print. They're
because you do the like hollow foil and the glossy printing, the laminated stuff, so I can jerk off on it.
That's right. I do like a nicer kind of effect on my books, so I can sell them at $25. So I look at his and I go, yeah, they're about $2.50. That's right. He's right about that.
It's such an interesting thing because I'm playing coy here. Obviously, I know that the numbers are out there and you divide them. He talked about his first order comics, how much it cost, how many comics there were. It was what, like 50,000 comics, 125 grand or whatever?
Something like that, yeah.
Whatever. It came out to $250 a comic. And that's consistent with people who have used the same production company. But that's not the issue. Like that is the issue of the comic itself. But we're talking about labor. Comics are a one-time cost. You go, okay, it costs 125, 150 grand for this many comics. We sell them at this price. You do this thing. But then you figure in labor, he leases a warehouse. I've talked about the amount of the lease. This is an expensive warehouse. It's 9,000 square feet, $2 a square foot is a rough amount. You can maybe give him credit on, depending on the length of the lease, that he gets $175, $150 a square foot. And that's being generous because the listed lease price is $225, I think, a square foot. And we won't get into commercial leases. Guys, I actually write. I write and negotiate commercial leases in my off time. Never mind. It doesn't matter. But let's just safely estimate $2 a square foot. This is all publicly available information. By the way, all of this was derived from knowing what Ripiverse is, where roughly it is, and just literally talking to the real estate agent who leases the buildings. But it's roughly $2 a square foot per year or whatever. And so you come to this conclusion that he's spending, I think it's a roughly 18 grand a month. Maybe if you're generous, 15 grand a month on rental space for the warehouse. And then you're telling me he's spending at a quarter 300 to 600K, you said?
That's what he said.
That's what he said. Fuck me.
So you understand, like, and this was initially, you know, when the first book came out, and he did really, really well.
Yeah.
You'd think that your first book, that's just my starter book, it's going to get bigger from there. So I have to build a business that can accommodate shipping out product immediately. And that's what he's done. He's put together a beautiful warehouse with a great staff. And these guys, their job is to make sure that, like, while he's promoting the books, they're packing up the packages, they're putting labels on them, and they're ready to ship immediately. He's paying. That money is going to, is going to...
I'm Daniela Pineda.
Oh, all right, let's go back to...
Here we go. Sorry.
Successfully whipping people in a frenzy. Hilariously, they tell their audiences...
Stop. You did not successfully whip people into a frenzy. You never wanted the people who were whipped into a frenzy, because the people who were whipped into this fucking... Again, this misrepresentation, Ethan. Prior to all of this, the people he whipped into a frenzy, which I would presume includes me and you and a couple others, right? I won't implicate anyone else, but me and you and a couple others. We were not opposed to Eric July. In fact... You actually did an alternate cover from one of the Isom books, right?
Yes, I did. And my cover did very well. It was the highest selling cover. More people bought my cover for Isom #2
How much anti-Jewish propaganda did you subliminally incorporate into your cover?
A lot. But more people bought my cover for Isom #2 than there were customers for Alpha Core #1. It was incredible. And it was my pleasure to do that for him. It was fun. Happy to do it.
Interesting thing. He's like whipping people into frenzy. Like, dude, like the people that got whipped into a frenzy were people who were not hostile to you.
Not at all. Why would I be?
Or me. I met him. I hung out with this guy at a barbecue place in Dallas. We had a great time. He's super nice.
Yeah.
Had a great fucking time. And I was like, why are you like this? Like, don't do this. I like you. Goddamn, whoops, here we go.
Yeah. That I should even get new lawyers. But when I said I had...
wait. That was me. That was me.
You did say that. Okay.
I did say he should get new lawyers. Not on the trademark issue. Love the conflation, Eric. I'm not talking about the trademark issue. I'm talking about the lawyers. Let's be fucking clear on this. Guys, I'm a lawyer. I'm a pedantic asshole who relies on clarity of language. I never said Eric should get new lawyers on his trademark issue. I said, if a lawyer advised you that you could shoot a short, fat faggot named Riley who shows up and tapes $20 bills to your window because you're in my Texas concealed carry and you don't have no trespassing signs or anything anywhere, they think you can shoot a man and kill him, as you suggested retardedly on a live stream like a fucking idiot. You said I could just we'll do it. We need to handle it. You suggested you could kill this man for showing up in your public parking lot that does not have back gate access and is on a public road. You could kill him because he taped money to your window.
You can't do that.
You have to get new lawyers on the self-defense issue. You're going to conflate it and make it about trademark. I didn't say you should get new trademark attorneys, although maybe you should have earlier because you could have resolved this a lot sooner. But Jesus Christ, man, it was about fucking ventilating a fat autism who showed up to your public business. My private business is publicly listed, brother. Like, what are you doing? The permits that you had
Fences,
to get.
though.
No, there weren't fences, Ethan.
There were fences. Weren't
No, there are
fences?
3 entrances. 2 of them have gates, and the other one on a public access road does not have a gate. You just drive in. And I asked him, is there a sign that says nobody can enter this? He goes, nah. And you know why he said nah? Because in the same fucking building, there's a public business that does vinyl wraps of cars that literally anyone can drive to, and he does not have the right as a partial renter of a 3-stall warehouse to go ahead and restrict every other stall without a specific provision in his lease. And you know why I know this, Ethan? Because I literally negotiate this shit as a profession. If you cannot just restrict other business stalls in the fucking property from letting public people come up unless you have a provision in your lease that says so. He doesn't, but he's like, you can't come in here because there's 2 gates. Like, but what if you could just go around? You go to the other road that's public and you drive up it and you just drive into the parking lot. But there's 2 gates, but there's 3 entrances. Well, I can shoot him. You can't shoot him. It's Texas, though. Yeah, I know. You can't shoot him. Did he threaten to murder your employees? No, he's a retard. He posts fucking $20 bills with tape on your wall. He gave you money. You can't shoot him. He didn't cause you damage. God fucking damn it.
It was a fun year, man. I swear to God. That's
why is he hilarious. Like this? He doesn't have to do this. He does not have to do this.
I don't know.
Flat out fucking lying.
Yeah.
Lawyers, I meant that I had rock star lawyers.
You don't.
So let me get to the real
God
as well
damn
as
it, Eric, you didn't have rock star lawyers because you could have resolved this earlier for the same outcome if they just answered in a timely manner. Why didn't they? Were they too busy jerking off pictures of fucking Faye Valentine, Daniela Pineda? What were they doing? Why? Were they looking at Zac Efron's resurfaced jaw or whatever? What were they doing that they just didn't respond, that Isom, the ministry, had to file because you did not answer by the deadline they gave you? You did not have rockstar lawyers. You came to a basic bitch settlement that says no money exchange. We'll apologize for every retarded thing we said.
It didn't say no money exchanged. That was not said. What was said was...
He's implying. He's implying on Twitter.
There's some implications there. There's no possible way that's true. But what he's saying is, you have to understand, this is, again, the guy who spent an hour discussing fences with you and trying to figure out a way to make it look as though his property was exclusive and private when it just wasn't.
Statute telling you how to do it, and your lawyers didn't tell you how to do it. Right. But you don't need new ones.
What he said was... I did not pay any money for the right to use their trademark.
Yeah.
Isom. That's what he said. He didn't say there was no money that exchanged hands. He was very, very specific. And from his point of view, he is using Isom, which is not their trademark. You understand their weasel words. His version of Isom, which is lowercase now, is not their trademark. So... The direct question would be interesting, like how much money was their money that went from your business bank account to their bank, and he can't say, can he?
He can't say the answer. You know, there's a confidentiality clause in this.
There should be, right?
Like most. Well, you're an independent artist who worked for major properties and you created good stuff for 20 years. You had a confidentiality clause on what they were paying you, right?
Yes, I think. Do I?
Probably, because
maybe.
DC doesn't want to go to
DeviantArt
to get a fat lesbian to draw the next version of Green Lantern, and have her go, well, you paid this guy this much. And they're like, well, we worked with him for 20 years. And she's like, but I'm a lesbian who's fat.
Well, I mean, all settlements.
You're a lesbian.
Who is?
You.
Me? I'm a heterosexual male. What are you talking about? How much are you drinking?
That's a lesbian, Ethan.
But what I'm saying is this: I think that there is a non-disclosure clause, right, with a settlement, or is there not? You're not supposed to say, because if you do say, you might bring negative attention. Like, the ministry extracted this kind of money from this wonderful small business, and we don't want people to know that.
Well, because someone else might have a trademark issue, and maybe. As a fellow man of God, they cut Eric a good deal. Or maybe they were promised certain money, or maybe Eric had to rename Isom in the next issue, right?
I think it's just a matter of like you're gonna see, and he's already starting to do it. Capital I, lowercase SOM, rather than all caps.
It's amazing how easy it is to change a trademark, though.
Easy.
It's very easy, and that's the curious thing about all this. Like you were informed on Twitter by a hater, like a hashtag hater, cool. But like your audience said, like when we Google Isom, this is what we come up with. And he's like, nah. Whatever, you ignored that, that's fine, but you could have resolved this pretty easily. Again, lowercase, changing, adding Isom Knox, the Adventures of Isom, anything like that would have undone this trademark issue very simply.
Or just name it something else. It's a fucking stupid title anyway. Isom. What the fuck is Isom?
No, I like it. It's 4 letters
like
but
it?
2 syllables.
Isom.
Could you get 4 letters and 3 syllables, Ethan? Can you get a more dynamic 4-letter title?
Almost anything. Almost any arrangement of letters.
I dare you to get 4 letters that have 3 syllables right now on the spot.
I can't. I just woke up. I can't. But what is the question is, what is Isom? What does it mean? What exactly is it about? And like there have been better comic book titles. It's not something to hang on to.
I like the title. It's impactful. It's short, but I like the 2-syllable thing. I love that. Because it allows the shorter the word, the bigger the font, right? Like you put 72-point font when you would have 36-point font for a 7-letter word or 2 words. And so you get Isom, it's 4 letters. But KFC is KFC rather than Kentucky Fried Chicken because you get a bigger K and F and the C, right?
That's true, yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm a genius.
Oh, all right. I mean, I'm not going to argue about it.
No, but it's preference. Personally, I like Isom as a title. I like that it's 2 syllables, and I like that that it's 4 letters and it's able to be done in impact font. But that being said, like it's not the greatest title ever, and it could be changed. The Amazing Adventures in 16-point font. The Amazing Adventures of Isom. The confusing ghetto adventures of Isom. The guy who beats up club bouncers for no reason, Isom. Like you come up with these. The guy who goes after his niece's kidnapper for no reason, Isom. The guy who abuses women without explanation, Isom. There's a whole bunch of reasons you could say, but then you can have Isom in that same bold impact font, and you wouldn't be infringing on copyright, right? It's Sonic the Hedgehog versus Sonic.
Exactly. Yeah.
But he didn't do that. And I don't know why, because Rockstar lawyers never told him to, because they didn't fucking do a Google search. Or a trademark. He didn't even. This is a risk of trademark, guys. If you do the trademark search, you get the trademarks that are registered. If you have to subsequently go and do due diligence. You have to try Google searches. You even have to go to Yahoo and Alta Vista and ask Jeeves. And you have to go to these places and try and find out if your trademark is being used in trade, but in some small business that isn't listed on Google because they're racist or whatever. He didn't do the trademark search. And his Rockstar lawyers didn't either. And then they advised him, just go with it. And then ignore them and call them horrible Christians.
For some of you, some perspective. You can think I'm the dumbest person in the world, but underestimating me is foolish.
Wait.
Impression.
Hold on. What did he just say?
What is all this?
He said, you can think I'm the dumbest person in the world, but what? I was too busy cackling. What the fuck did he say?
He said, underestimating me.
They tell their audiences that I should even get new lawyers. But when I said I had rock star lawyers, I meant that I had rock star lawyers. So let me get to the real, as well as offer some of you some perspective. You can think I'm the dumbest person in the world, but underestimating me is foolish. I'm under no impression that I'm the smartest person on.
No one thinks you're the smartest or the dumbest person in the world. You're obviously a capable businessman who's charismatic and wonderful. That's why we like you. That's why we all like you, Eric. Why are you doing this? This is a straw man argument. No one thinks you're the dumbest person in the room. You had lawyers who were not equipped to deal with any of these problems that you talked about. God fucking damn.
All issues, and that's why I employ people. When problems occur, it's not just me dealing with them. My team is full of people that are far smarter than I am in their respective fields. That's why.
No, Eric, stop denigrating yourself. Ethan, can you join me on this?
Yes.
The problem was he employed lawyers who were dumber than him.
Oh, you think so?
Yes.
I just don't think that he actually had any lawyers until he needed them, because there's no possible way that they would have advised him to behave the way that he did.
No, I met fucking retarded lawyers, Ethan. I went to law school. The worst realization of getting accepted into law school and showing up the first day is going, I'm special. And you look around like, oh no, I'm fucking retarded. Like I'm the dumbest person I've ever met because all of these other people are idiots.
Right.
And then you have to go to school with them for years. It's reinforced constantly that you are not special. They're all dumb. No, I think Eric is a very smart man. That's why he has hundreds of thousands of subscribers. He's done what he's done. His lawyers don't have hundreds of thousands of subscribers.
Well, all they've done is they could if they just made clickbait videos for. I don't think
years. They could. I don't think
you
they could.
Think so?
No, I don't think they'd be interesting enough. Because what they do is they go, but we could charge one guy like $700 an hour. Right. Why don't we just do that instead?
Oh, that makes more sense. They could do that instead of making clickbait videos.
Yeah, but like that doesn't make them particularly smart. It just makes them savvy in the business of billing. But Eric is not dumb. He's a smart guy. But his lawyers, I don't know that they were dumb. I never accused them of being dumb. I said they were different types of lawyers. They probably negotiated his lease. They might have given him some business advice on structuring his LLCs and stuff like that. Transactional lawyers are great for what they do. If his transactional lawyers on the LLC advised him on the self-defense issue of could he shoot Riley in the chest, well, they're retarded. And if they advised him on the trademark issue, the rock star lawyers who dragged this thing out for fucking months.
This is a quick thing. It shouldn't have taken that long at all.
Really should have been like, hey, guys, we didn't mean to step on your toes. What do we need to do to make this right?
Shouldn't have been this embarrassing. I mean, I'm sure like a lot of people kind of walked away from Rippaverse over this. Like, what is this?
They go, look, we're gonna need 20% of your income. You go, wait, hold on. We'll make some statements. We'll publicly exclaim that we are not in any way associated with you. I don't know why this thing happened. Some trolls. Look, we're really sorry about that. I'm kind of an abrasive guy. I get it. But we'll make public statements and be very clear that we're not associated with you. You can make public statements saying you're not associated with us. We're both Christians. We're good people. We really want things to succeed, but we're not the same entity. And by the way, we'll make like a couple $1,000s to your donation to your ministry. We'll donate some books even. You can hand them out. There's ways to deal with this that weren't done. And you go, why did your lawyers bill you tens of thousands of dollars to negotiate this issue out when it should have been an issue that was done initially for, maybe 10 grand tops? But I wonder how much he paid for this negotiation. God, it's depressing, Ethan. Here we go.
They're there. YouTube and streaming tricks people into believing that the opinion they're exposed to the most is the righteous one.
Dude, that's literally you. That's the thing that you do, which is fine. But that's the thing that you are an anti-woke clickbait YouTuber. So you have to take the anti-woke position on basically every piece of media that comes out. And that's fine. But don't lie about what you. I have been exceedingly fair in all this. He's like, well, dude, there was no reason for me to oppose you. I should have just supported you from the start and said Dick Masterson was a faggot. Mm-hmm. You know why, Ethan?
Why?
Because Dick Masterson would have sucked dick to prove he was a faggot to support my position. Whereas Eric July would never suck a dick for me. Well, maybe he would. I don't know. I guess I haven't asked.
That's a lot of assumptions here.
Just maybe. YouTubers' words aren't gospel, especially the ones with substance consumption problems. My lawyers practice.
That's you, bro. That was a shot right across your deck. He blew your balls off with that one.
Holy shit. I had no idea this was in there. Wow.
He's roasting all of his enemies, all of his haters.
What the fuck was that?
Don't listen to you,
Ethan.
Mm-hmm.
Do I have a substance consumption problem, Ethan?
Oh, you got a new bottle of Knob Creek there. This
nice. Is an 18-year Knob Creek, which means Joe Biden wouldn't even sniff this.
It's
Frosty Chaos says, "Is he wrong though?" I don't know. Make your own determinations. I don't get. How do you, Ethan? Legit question. People say you're addicted to pie.
Right.
Can you ever defend an addiction? Can you ever vocally defend an addiction.
Well, it's not right. I mean, eating too much pie. I've been eating Christmas cookies today. Not good. It's not good for me. I understand that.
But someone says, Ethan, you're addicted to Christmas cookies. You're like, motherfucker, I can only get these 2 months out of the year. That's like, I can't be addicted to them. It's not real.
Right. I have to go cold turkey in January.
Every argument you make sounds like an addict's excuse. You cannot vocally argue against an addiction. Go tell someone they're addicted to anything and listen to what they say. Listen to every answer they come up with. They're like, I don't even eat that much.
You're addicted to making YouTube videos attacking your enemies all the time. Your haters.
I only made 3 the last month.
And can't enjoy your success. It's strange. You should just enjoy your success and make happy videos attacking the thing that you're pushing back against in comics, which is, and there's plenty of it right now.
Dude, this is fucking crazy.
But you have to be right, I guess. I don't know.
The only thing I have criticized Eric on specifically is maintaining his monetizing his haters thing in the face of being wildly successful, which I think he grew up on the thing that made him successful, but then he shifted lanes and then he stuck into it. All of us have done this.
Mm-hmm.
All of us have gone, well, this is what made me popular. I better do this thing. But then that's not what is popular now. That's not why you're successful now. Eric now has transitioned from guy who criticizes woke culture, gets called out by woke people, and then goes on and obliterates them because he's funnier than them, which is great. And he goes, I'm going to make a comic. And then he makes his comic. He invested to it. I love this about Isom #1. He invested into it up front. He goes, we're going to deliver very shortly after the pre-order, the campaign is done because I'm prepaying for all this. And he goes, here we go. $3 million. Fucking kills it. Crushes everybody. And he makes Isom #. That was brilliant. He did it. And he sold this parallel economy. He sold his personality. He did all that. People bought Isom #1. Isom #2, another smashing success. Another $2.3 million, whatever. Great. Crush it. You fucking nailed this formula that you've done. Why are you going back to the monetizing your haters? You're a fundamentally different creature now than you were.
He's got to move differently.
Yeah.
He's going to move.
It's like when Walmart literally went from a Walmart to a Walmart in every rural town to now a Walmart in every urban town, right? Because like Walmart used to not be available in metro areas. I don't know if people remember this. About 15 years ago, you couldn't find a Walmart in an urban area. You can only find Walmarts in suburban, maybe outskirts suburban towns at best, but mostly farm communities and rural communities because they brought the supermarket to the everyman who didn't have a supermarket.
Right.
And then now Walmart, though, is in every fucking city on the planet, because including Mexico, which no one wants to be there.
I can imagine.
Mexican Walmarts are a disaster. Here we go.
Daily in the areas of focus. Just because they aren't streaming all the time does not mean that they don't exist. And it sure as hell doesn't mean that someone who has never practiced in this area knows more than them.
Eric, no one said you needed new trademark lawyers. I don't know your trademark lawyers. I said your trademark approach was weird to me. And dude, you're the guy. Listen to this. Guys, I fucking hate this. I hate doing this. I hate pointing this shit out. Ethan, who said Eric should settle this with Isom?
I did. You did. Everybody kind of did.
Dick Masterson did. Everybody said you should settle this. It should be an easy settlement. What did Eric say about this?
I'm going to fight like hell because it's my grandfather's legacy. My great-great-great-great-great-great-grandfather's legacy.
And therefore, what can we presume Eric's lawyer said about this?
Fight like hell.
Of course, Jinx, you owe me a Coke and a blowjob.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Look, I'll make it gentle. Why do you do this?
Fight like hell.
Yeah, this fight like hell thing. And we're like, why are you fighting? Like, why are you calling these people bad Christians? Why are you doing all this? And this is the crazy thing. We all said this should be settled immediately. You shouldn't be in this lawsuit. It should really take this thing. Why haven't you settled? He said, I'm not going to settle. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that. You can only presume that his lawyers advised him of this. And then he's like, these people, The funny thing is, I never suggested that Eric needed new lawyers on this. I said he needed them on the trespass issue, where lawyers advised him that if he were present, he could have shot Riley.
You don't think
and
they
murdered
really
him.
said that? Nobody said that. No lawyer said that to him.
Not a Texas lawyer. I legit don't believe
that.
a Texas lawyer who analyzed this said that.
Yeah, I mean, that's just one of those things. My lawyers, I talked to my lawyers. They said I could do whatever I wanted to you. It's a fantasy that never happened.
It's the Second Amendment purist fantasy that, like, what we want to be true, right? We want to be able to shoot a Riley who shows up uninvited and fucks with your property.
He's fine. He's a nice kid.
Well, Riley's a nice kid, but I want to shoot him too. He's my friend. I want to shoot him. Eric or Ethan. Why did I call you Eric? You're not
Sorry.
Eric.
Yeah, he's a nice kid. I don't want to shoot anybody. I'm not interested in shooting people unless they're a direct threat to my life or my family's life. Not my pride. Not my pride. Your pride, somebody attacking your pride and embarrassing you is not a reason to murder them.
No,
it's not a justification.
And I've talked with Andrew Bronca about this on multiple occasions. Yes, Texas has a law where at night you can protect property. The idea was because you might be a rancher out in the middle of West Texas on a fucking ranch or on this giant scape of wilderness, and you might have a cow that's 1,000 yards away, and some cattle rustler comes and tries to take your cattle, and you might have to shoot them. Not 1,000 yards away. That's pretty fucking far, but farther than you can catch up. Then you might have to take out your Winchester and blast them while they're fleeing with your cattle that you may not get back. It's when you can never prevent the damage to your property in any other reasonable way. Riley wasn't that. First of all, he didn't damage the property. I tried to explain this to Eric. Taping money to your window is not damage. It says in the statute, the damage has to have an economic impact for the person repairing it. So he's like, well, if you draw symbols on it, it's like, yes, if you literally spray paint on glass and someone has to go out there with fucking turpentine and wipe off the spray paint, you have to pay someone to do it. Now you've incurred economic injury because you had to hire someone to do this thing. You may get reduced reputation when you wait for the person to come out and do that. And like some customer could come up and look at this and be like, I don't like swastikas or whatever. There are fathomable ways that literally drawing something on a window can cause damage. Riley taped money to your window with bunnies drawn on it. That's all he did. And Eric tried to hide that. Like he tried to, I was like, what's on the dollars? He's like, we won't talk about that. And then Riley told me, he's like, I literally drew rabbits on them. I literally drew just cartoon rabbits on dollar. He taped $50, 2 20s and a 10 to the Isom warehouse's window. I said, did anybody come out and tell you to leave? No. Did anybody come out and say anything? No. No, I just sat out there. I flipped off the cameras and I made fun of it and we recorded a video and then I left. He told me, he's like, I was there for like 8 hours in the parking lot. Guys, Riley was there in the parking lot for 8 hours because that's how retarded Riley is. And he's committed to the bit so much. He will sit in a parking lot in Dallas for 8 hours. Would any of you do this? No, you're reasonable, normal people. Would Riley sit in a parking lot for 8 hours for a joke? Sure. But what he did was he taped $50 to a window with bunnies drawn on it. Eric tried to pretend on my show. He tried to unironically pretend these were threatening messages by being ambiguous. This is the thing I hate most about Eric. I like Eric, but he's fucking lying on all of this stuff. And it's overt. If you just examine any of the evidence critically for a moment, he's lying for no reason, Ethan.
I know.
Why lie about
this? It sucks,
this?
Man. I hate this. I fucking hate it. And we both go through this because we're like, all of our people like this guy, and they don't see him yet for what he is. And we kind of did, and it's like it's frustrating because you got to just kind of be quiet. But the lies are so goddamn transparent.
Why do you have to be quiet?
They're absurd. Well, because you'll face consequences, as Eric told me.
What kind of consequences are there?
Social consequences that could lead to financial consequences.
I gotta say this. I have talked to associates of Eric, very close associates, who are people I have talked to. I barely know Eric, and I know some of his friends a little bit better. I've interacted with them more, and I have to be fair. They have said, whatever you and Eric have is completely between you guys. That's your thing. We don't see this in any way. And all of the people that I know who are friends with Eric, none of them have said an untoward word to me, and none of them have shunned me. I don't want any rumors out there that, like, I haven't been on their shows literally because I haven't been on anybody's shows except for like my really good friends who've invited me. And at the last minute I said, I can make it. None of those guys have said you can't come on our shows. Nobody's canceled my streams. I love all of those guys and they're great. No one has blacklisted me that I know of. Now they're certainly there could be something. And it was implied. It was certainly implied to me that I would not have anything, but I just want to be clear. I don't want any specter of implication. My discussion about Eric's shit has always been me and Eric, and I'm frustrated that he has misrepresented things because I have never held malice towards him at any fucking stretch. And the fact that he's doing this substance abuse problems, okay, Eric, I probably drink less than your lawyers, you fucking idiot. But yeah, I said you needed new lawyers on Riley's thing because I read to you the statute that says if you want to exclude people from your property, it has to be openly stated in a sign or this particular paint. It's in the fucking statute, you idiot. You have to do this to have a reasonable grounds to trespass someone by their presence. If you don't have grounds to trespass them by their presence because you haven't done the statutory requirements, you have to then give them constructive notice. You have to tell them they are trespassing and then call the police after giving them an opportunity to leave. You didn't do any of that. And I told you, if your lawyers didn't tell you that and they told you you could just shoot this guy, you need lawyers. Now, maybe your lawyers didn't tell you that, but if they did, as you represented, then they're fucking bad on this issue.
Yeah,
I never said you needed trademark
But
lawyers.
Nick, he settled the lawsuit, so he made you look stupid. His lawyers are obviously rock stars because he settled the trademark lawsuit. So you look stupid now because you said he needed new lawyers, and there you go.
Either you know what my favorite part of this is? You know what the biggest criticism of me is?
What?
The biggest criticism of my legal profession is this. Nick's never taken a lawsuit to trial, which isn't true, but I've never taken one to jury trial because I have gone to trial a couple times in family law and custody issues, but those are bench trials before a judge because juries cannot be trusted with the custody of children or the dissolution of marriage, especially when it involves children. But let's ignore those, and I'll take it as true. Nick has never taken a jury trial. No, I haven't. We settle all the time. Beneficially to my client, we settle all the time. If you have to go to jury trial, guys, I was literally a one lawyer office with no paralegal and no assistant because I was starting out and doing my own thing. If someone had to go to jury trial, I referred them to someone else. And I said, hey, you need someone who has more resources to do this thing. I can't. If you want to go and I'll negotiate your settlement for you, you want to go and we'll do motions to dismiss. We'll get the thing knocked out, which we did that plenty of times. We got people completely off the hook by dismissing the charges or dismissing the complaint, or we negotiated settlements that were beneficial to the clients. Great. Fantastic. So wait, I'm an inexperienced lawyer who doesn't know what he's talking about because you settled? No. If you want to make the argument that I don't know what I'm talking about based on my experience, you'd have to go to trial and win. Why didn't you go to trial, Eric? You'd have trouble winning, wouldn't you? He would have had trouble winning this patent or this trademark lawsuit, I think. By the time it got to where it is, he's got real trouble, doesn't he, Ethan?
Well, I'm listening to you. You're a lawyer, and I'm going to I'll listen to you, even though you're a little buzzed right now.
I'm not even close to buzzed, Ethan. Do you know how much I can drink? It's 6 years of this. No, it's but this is such a fucking weird thing because if he goes to the trademark and he wins, he's got a good argument. He's like, oh wow, these guys said I should settle, and then we went and won at trial. Therefore, we won. That like those people are stupid. We won. We knew what the strategy. Eric, what we said the whole time was you should settle. That was literally the entire time was This is a ministry. They've said they want to settle. They want to resolve this peacefully because they just want some clarification that you're not them, because you say nigga all the time and you say these things that are inflammatory, and they're a ministry that wants to bring like any political stripe who's a Christian into their fold as a quote unquote customer, which is literally just them donating pamphlets to every church on the planet and then soliciting donations to say we do good work. But if you're there saying inflammatory things about people, they go, wait, if people Google Isom, they come up with this weird guy in a hat who's yelling at them, and that's bad for our brand. All we said, Ethan said it, I said it, Dick said it, everybody said it. You just settle this thing. This should have been settled right away. And you're telling us that you're like trying to reframe the narrative right now and say that, wait, this lawyer with a substance abuse problem said that you should do something different. No, you did what I said you should do. You just did it fucking 3 months later like a goddamn idiot. Why? Was it you or your lawyers who were stupid, Eric? And if it's your lawyers who advised you to fight, and me who said you should probably settle this right away, you shouldn't even be in this lawsuit, which one of them was fucking dumb? Which one of them had your paycheck? Which one of them had the ink on a banknote? And which one of them was just a lawyer with a substance abuse problem on YouTube who has never, ever asked for a penny from you? Which one, Eric? Which one had your best interest at heart? Ask yourself the question. Ask yourself if they legitimately told you you had a good fucking argument and could fight, you never had to settle, and they said, well, maybe we should settle now after you paid them. How much do you pay them, Eric? How much do you pay them? Ethan, what do you think? 15 grand? 20 grand? 30?
I have no way of knowing. I can't even guess.
How many lawyers is it? We have no idea. Is Trademark their area? Did they hire a third-party trademark attorney?
How much? Oh, how much did he pay his own lawyers?
Yeah.
Let's see. 30 grand.
I have to imagine 15 to 30 grand.
Yeah.
How much did Eric pay me for my legal advice?
Was that
rude? He got me at least $25 in super chats. It's so silly because people do this all the time. They're like, no, like you should not be in this. Your values, their values, same thing. Who advised you to call them fake Christians? Who advised you to question their legitimacy as Christians, and then to advise your audience, which you do this, we all do this in some way, but to imply that your audience should maybe go question their legitimacy. Go read all the comments on Isom's video about the trademark.
Not in a lawsuit. You keep that shit to yourself. And exactly. I really get this sense that it was like the first time Eric's been sued. And so he took it so very, very.
What? Fuck it. I didn't mean to do that.
That's Sorry. Okay. He took it very personally and wanted to go to war. And he just didn't need to.
He went to war like it was a dumb idiot on YouTube questioning him. But it wasn't. It was this Christian ministry who said, look, we don't want to fight. They said we don't want to sue. We want to resolve this. But he didn't. We gave him a deadline. He didn't follow it. That's his lawyers. That's not even Eric. Well, I guess in theory it could be, but I'm not going to put that on Eric. I'm going to say his lawyers should have gotten his response because that's their job that he's paying them for. They should have hounded him for his response, and then they should have delivered that to Isom and said, "Yeah, here's our thing. Like we want to work this out." That was what all of us said. Like you can work this out. You can probably work it out for very little or no money. But the reality is you made $7 million. $6 million. You made $6 million using their name, their trademark. And you could have looked it up at the beginning and noticed that there was a trademark. You were informed of it actively. So now you've made $6 million. How do you rectify it with this ministry? Call them fake Christians. Great job. Fantastic.
Right, we gotta watch the video. The chat is furious. They want to see this. We're only 3 minutes in.
The chat.
Never say or do anything against the advice of my counsel. Moving on a bit.
And you literally needed new lawyers, Eric. This is retarded.
If you pause every time he lies or says something stupid, we're never going to get through this.
This quick. Ethan.
Yes.
That's all I'm saying. If this motherfucker would have listened to me rather than his lawyers, he would have had this resolved 2.5 months ago.
He's
That's
trying to say that he trusts his lawyers, but he doesn't trust you, even though you told him to do exactly the same thing that he ended up doing.
I told you to do this. What the fuck, Eric?
But fuck you, Nick, because
I've learned a lot recently, and I'll be critical of myself. I was very naive despite being warned repeatedly.
Yeah, we can tell.
I gave a person or two the benefit of the doubt, and it got me burned. This is because
your lawyers, you gave your lawyers the benefit of the doubt. You didn't give me the benefit of the doubt, and you actually got you burned. You would have just listened to me. I love you. I love you. I like black. I hate white people. How do you not know this about me, Eric? I don't like Ethan. Wait, what?
What is this?
I'm joking. I'm a reverse racism. You mayo monkey. I hate you.
Oh my God.
I was far too focused on the end game, as you hear me say all the time. There is no fixed pie, and alternatives can thrive. And even if we aren't friends, at minimum, we could be cordial. But unfortunately, not everybody sees it that way. I don't seek to be some emperor of independence. The world doesn't revolve around me. If someone is an indie and they have more success than I ever did, good for them. Hell, I'll try to pick up some game and learn from them. I was wrong to assume that, again, everybody felt the same way. They saw the Rippaverse as a problem, and they've made it a mission to try to take me down a peg. Narcissism is a problem, and envy is a dirty son of a gun. Watching people project like I'm the one with the ego is pretty laughable. I should have known something was up when people would say.
I'm trying not to. I'm trying to let it go. He says, making me out like I'm the one with the ego is pretty laughable.
It's astonishing to me. This whole thing is like incredible. Absolutely incredible.
How big is your ego?
Pretty big. Yeah.
You know how big my ego is, Ethan?
It's got to be up there, Nick. You can't,
If you take my massive, magnificent nose, and you add my tiny, embarrassing penis, and you put them together, my ego is way bigger than both of them.
Wow.
And my womanly shoulders, it doesn't even come close. My ego is your ego is. Of course, we have egos. We're people who make money by being ourselves. Like our egos are. Like, it's like having Saigon hookers stroke our egos all day and going, yeah, of course I have an ego. What are you talking about? Of course you have an ego, Eric. That's your whole shtick, is being a literal ego. God fucking damn. We're going to go. We're not doing this.
Hey, that they were glad the vitriol was being levied at me.
Literally,
because it seemed to get enemies off of their backs. And that sort of explains why.
Wait. Who's
me? He's talking about me, dude. It's not you. It's me.
You had your enemies.
I laughed at him over and over again because I laughed at him. We're in a friendly way. I said, "Now you know what it's like," because it's been like this for me for 6 years, and it's so fun that like now it's you that has to deal with this insanity. And I meant it in a joking way. I was being jovial with him, but you know what? He never laughed once.
Can you name a single hater who stopped hating you and started hating Eric July? Because
there were. I mean, it was great. There were. Vicky Verse left me alone and attacked him.
Vicky Verse is an idiot.
I understand, but like the people who would like be in my timeline talking shit and all this stuff, they stopped focusing on me and started focusing on Eric. And for me,
Ethan, have you ever heard of hentai?
Yes.
Yeah, where the tentacles go in like the woman's like vagina, anus, and mouth at the same time.
Yeah.
Vicky Verse isn't even the tentacle. She's the camera.
Okay.
Here we go. She doesn't count. God damn it.
Some have allied themselves with people that admittedly attempt to ruin what I've built, even though those same people.
Okay, God damn it. This is about me.
Dick Masterson.
Allied myself with Dick Masterson. Here's what I did. All I said in life was, Eric, this is important. This is getting so lost. And Eric, Bubby, come on. Eric, you said, we have the receipts and we will be producing them to show that we know these people interfered with our business in this way. We have the receipts. And all I said was, I like Eric. I've been friends with Dick for like 6 years. Show me that Dick... I'm not even friends with Vito. I have made more pedophile jokes about Vito to his face than any of you fucking losers have online. I was standing in line in Philadelphia to get a Philly cheesesteak, Ethan, at this Italian place. It's really good. It's not one of the famous ones. This is a little place. And we're like, where are we going to eat these? And I'm standing there next to Dick, an 80s girl, and Lady Rackets, because that's who I want to eat with. I want to eat with Dick, an 80s girl, and Lady Rackets. We're all pretty. And then Vito's there, and I'm like, you're the fucking moon blocking the sun from the attractiveness. And Vito's like, well, we can eat over there. Like, Vito, that's a public park that's attached to a school. You can't go within 500 feet of that thing. Have any of you ever, to Vito's face, made a joke about him being restricted from being near children? They weren't even present. And I was like, the very idea of you being on a playground is offensive to me. No. No. Here's the thing. God damn. I hate this. I fucking hate this. I didn't align myself with Dick Masterson and Vito. All I said was, I know Dick, I know Vito. These guys they're weird, they're silly, they're goofy, but they are themselves. This doesn't smell like them. All I need you to do is show me that Dick or Vito sent that email. Show me any evidence. He goes, we have the evidence. It's going to come out later. This Eric's words. We have the evidence to conclusively show this thing. We're thinking about losses. We're thinking about this. He didn't say that we're going to sue them. He said that we're thinking about it. Has Eric ever produced a single shred of evidence that Dick or Vito contacted Isom? Has he produced a single shred of evidence? The only thing he can say is that Dick, in the context of this guy committed charity fraud, I want his business to fail. That's what he said. I want to ruin his business. He committed charity fraud. Has anybody ever produced an email where Dick or Vito in any way interfered with the business relationships of Eric July? No. Of course they haven't. You know why? Because they don't exist. Because Dick and Vito didn't do it. A guy named Obtuse Gnome, who's been a fan of the Dick Show for probably 7+ years, sent the emails. Dick laughed at him. Vito laughed at him. Vito said we like an idiot because Vito's stupid. He's Italian. You can't blame him for this. All he knows is lasagna and the papacy. But all I said was, hey, I've been friends with Dick for a long time. Vito's this weird thing that's associated with him. All you have to do is show me the evidence. That's it. That's all I said, Ethan. Show me the evidence, and then I will disavow what they said. You know, it's never happened. Have you ever seen a shred of evidence that either of them have any responsibility for those emails being sent?
No, I haven't seen that.
All you have is them laughing at some guy showing up at Isom Knox's grave, right? Like, and they go, you can't do that. It's unconscionable. Well, yeah, it's unconscionable, but so, like, he didn't interfere with your business. And then Dick goes, I want his business to fail because he commit charity fraud. And Eric's on my show, and he's like, wait, so he said, I want you to fail. I'm like, well, hold on.
Why does everybody have to want Eric to succeed?
It's a weird thing, right? Because he's trying to hold me to the standard where I say, I don't want people to interfere with other people's businesses, which is true. Like, I just generally don't want that. Mm-hmm. But Eric's made his entire business of interfering by wanting Disney to fail, right?
All these guys, all these woke companies need to fail.
Of course, because
companies that are doing things that
they hate customers. Like. So, the entire reason you created Comicsgate and All Caps Comics, right? Like, we love our customers. We don't hate our customers.
No, I mean, I just wanted to be able to make comics in spite of very real woke elements in comics that were trying to prevent me from doing that. That's all. I wasn't trying to prove anything. You know,
I put that up on the T-ball tee, and you're like, I'm playing hockey.
I know. I'm sorry about that, but I don't want to be associated with this. Like, I'm not sitting here going, I've got a different thing. Marvel hates their customers. I love mine. That's not it. I wanted to be able to continue to make comics because woke assholes literally kicked me out of the mainstream and made it so that I couldn't, make a living making comics. We have different mission statements, me and a lot of these guys.
Here we go. Back to the Eric thing. I don't want to watch this whole thing. I'm furious 4 minutes in, Ethan.
I know, but let's try our best.
People have a history of going after them. I guess the enemy of your now bigger enemy is your friend. Glad I could contribute at least to your friendships as you congregate and gossip about me for hours on end. The fact that y'all are 40, 50, 60 years of age doing this is...
Which one of those are you, Ethan? Are you 40, 50, or 60?
I'm 49 years old.
You're 49? Congrats, buddy.
Thank you.
I just turned 43. 40s are great, wouldn't you say?
It's okay. It's starting to wind down, to be honest.
You know
with
what? Don't do this to me. I'm at the beginning of my 40s. I want them to be great all through the rest of them. Even the way I look at this, I have maybe 17 good years left in me until I'm 60. And then I'm just going to be that weird old guy. Because I get the video update in the beaded area, waiting for like someone to come in and be like, have you heard of Asia Carrera? That's going to be me.
Bizarre. Narratives, though, man, there's something else. Just yapping and saying things with the sole intent of getting others to believe it, no matter how verifiably false it is.
Oh, God damn it, Eric, stop! Stop it, God damn it! Ugh!
Eric needs to learn to take criticism. Then you conflate.
That was at me.
Yeah, that was at you. Wish I was mad on your behalf. Does Eric need to learn to take criticism?
It seems like this video was proof of that. You know, I mean,
of course you need to learn to take criticism.
Here's the whole thing. Dick Masterson read Isom. So did a lot of people. And Dick Masterson posted, he said it sucked. First, he said, I know this is going to suck, before he read it. And then he read it. Now, hold on.
Let's be fair, real quick.
Yes.
For a year, he made fun of Vito for saying, I know it's going to suck.
Yeah, he was like, you're just jealous and all this stuff, of course.
Yeah. But then no one talked about the plot, and he goes, oh, this probably does suck.
It probably does suck. And so he read it. He read it, and then he wrote a really good standard boilerplate criticism of the story.
Literally, critical approaches to literature 301.
Yeah.
Because I took that class. It is literally that. It's just critical approaches to literature 301 is a basic junior bachelor's degree analysis of literary work.
It was perfect. Go ahead. It was really good. I read it and I was like, this was a good criticism. I read Isom and I read the criticism. I said, yeah, this is great.
It's so good. I didn't need to read Isom, and I read this and I was like, this is a basic criticism of anybody's first work ever. And like, I like Eric and I want him to succeed, but like, I get where this is coming from. And the reason people may misunderstand this, the reason I understand this is because I had a screenwriting class and I have gotten the exact same fucking feedback.
Sure. Yeah, of course.
Anybody who's tried writing, gotten an honest review, has gotten that feedback. They said, you missed the story here. You missed the hero's journey here. You missed this thing, this thing, this thing. This doesn't make sense. Why are you doing this? Why is he fighting this? We don't understand this. And you go, oh, yeah, that makes sense. Do you revise it? No, you make something new. Sorry,
you do the next thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Move on. Well, I mean, when it comes to getting criticism, especially good criticism that I think, when you read it, you kind of go, oh, this is painful, or it's going to convince people that I'm not very good, people who read this. The thing is, you either acknowledge it and say thank you, or you ignore it. One thing that you don't do is fire up a YouTube stream and go through it item by item and deceptively try to debunk it to your audience. That shows that you are not somebody who is receptive to criticism. And again, the way that his debunking of the criticism was so incredibly dishonest. That was what was so infuriating about it. He took pieces and aspects of it without confronting the entire summation of what Dick was saying. He avoided that just to sort of strike it down in the eyes of his audience. And me as somebody who's been doing this for a long time, I think initially when you get criticism, you're tempted to you get butthurt.
Of course you are. You are the guy who's going to come in. You've been analyzing film story for
you're going to fix everything. You're going to be great.
You're going to fix the thing. And then you realize that and here's the thing, guys. If you've never written a story and had someone else read it, what happens when you write a story and have someone else read it is you realize that you have made connections in your head because you know all the characters, you know all the plot lines. You go, I've made these connections, and then you write them down, you do this thing, and they go, I don't understand how X got to Y. You're like, what do you mean? How don't you understand this? Like, you don't say any way in which X gets to Y. Like, but it means this and this and this. It's like, why don't you just say that?
Mm-hmm.
And you go, oh,
Yeah.
because
You got to go through and clarify over and over again because it's in your head, but the reader doesn't know. So
yeah, there's an entire genre of criticism of literary analysis is that you are writing the story, which means you have been building this thing, this story, this world, all these characters in your head for years, and you go, well, maybe months, maybe even days. It doesn't matter though, because you have the story here, and so then when you write things down, your brain truncates those transitions from one to 7, and they go, wait, where's 2 through 6? How did that get from 1 to 7? Because 2 through 6 doesn't exist. And you go, oh shit. In my brain, it made sense because I know this guy's motivation is this. I know his power is this. I know this thing is this. And his backstory is this. So I skipped all those things. I have to go back and explain those. I have to detail them. And that is the valuable criticism that everybody's talking about. Dick's analysis of Isom number 1. This is the funniest thing. I didn't need to read Isom number 1. I just read I listened to Dick's analysis of it. It goes, yeah, this is literally every single freshman story ever written. You missed this and this and this because you are a consumer who's been consuming for years. You're smart. You're capable. You know storytelling. You know tropes. But what you forgot is to include storytelling and tropes to explain how A gets to C. You skip B. Go get B. Just put B in there. And the question that Dick had for Eric was, why didn't you have someone tell you to put B in between A and C? And he goes, this is not real. This is fake. It's because a black man has succeeded. And everybody's like, wait, what the fuck? Like, nobody cares if black man succeeds. George Washington Carver succeeded during slavery. We don't care about you. Is that offensive?
I don't know.
Criticism with hate and project and act.
Literally no hate.
Again, I'm the one that's doing that. And ultimately, you can't take criticism means he doesn't give people with bad intentions the time of day.
Ian, do you have bad intentions? I
didn't then, and I don't think I do now. And here's the thing: you did give people with. First of all, if Dick Masterson had bad intentions, you literally made a video trying to debunk his criticism, which is really embarrassing. And what that means is there's no debate about whether or not you can take criticism. You can't take criticism, and you need to learn to. And this is all I was trying to impart to you as a 50 or 60-year-old man who's actually been working in comic books for 30 years and understands how to tell a story and how to draw comics and make them. I was trying to give you a quick little lesson about that so that you wouldn't look like a buffoon on the internet over and over and over again. Somebody who's petty and thin-skinned and doesn't want to grow, thinks he knows everything already. Egos are important. You should have an ego, but earn it. Earn that ego, young man.
As a writing major, who I've got so many ideas. I've had so many concepts and things. I think I've even talked to you about some of them. It's like I would love to create a writing work. The main thing though is I don't want to deal with criticism and editing. I'm not good at that. That's not my skill. My skill set is not writing a thing, taking an editor's outside perspective and fixing my thing to make it better, because you have to realize that your editor really wants you to be better than what you have. And you have to trust that. It's a hard thing to do because that's your story, that's your baby. But the editor goes, I don't care about your story. I just want to make money. This is how I do it. And so they do your thing. They edit it. That's one of the main reasons I haven't done anything is that I'm not good at taking that criticism. Eric isn't good at taking criticism because Dick's criticism was legitimate. It wasn't even mean-spirited. But people get the wrong impression that it was because of how it came up. Because he said, I bet you haven't read it to Nina. And the reality was, like, I love Nina. I think she's great. I'd have her on any show ever. But she hadn't read it. She was defending it, but she hadn't read it. She was defending it because she's defending the idea, the concept, the movement, all that stuff. But she hadn't read the book. And so then Dick says, have you read it to Dick? And he goes, have you? And she's like, oh shit, I don't know what to do here. She hadn't read it. And then she starts reading it real time. She's trying to catch up. You can't do it. You can't read a fucking 90-page comic book real time in a live stream, right? Like, unless that's the focus of the live stream, but it wasn't. She's trying to catch up over and over, and he goes, "This is the problem with Comicsgate or independent creation or whatever it is." He says, "You make this stuff, and no one's allowed to criticize successful projects." And what we have found out about Eric is that Dick was 100% right. No one is allowed to criticize this guy's projects.
Well, look at what he's doing right now. Look at this.
You can come up with any answer, but let me say, Ethan, you don't have to subscribe to this. I'll say it to my own personal detriment. When I come up with the most obvious answer is this, and the most obvious answer that you'll see over and over is this. Eric is an anti-woke streamer, right? Like, he hates Disney and the insertion of identity politics and identity culture into everything. The moment he is criticized, the moment Eric is criticized, what is the first thing that you see? It is, you hate when a black man is successful.
That's his audience that says that too. It's unbelievable.
It's the
so
most
embarrassing.
woke, weird shit ever. And you're like, I literally don't care. Like, I want black guys, white guys, black women.
When that happens, I gotta walk away from that. When people are being so transparently hypocritical and making fools of themselves and this movement and what it stands for, I gotta walk away.
Of course.
I'm sorry. I gotta preserve my own integrity. And I'm seeing it over and over. Like, these guys are acting exactly like the social justice warriors, the cancel pigs that they oppose. It's embarrassing.
One of the big credits I can give to you is that when people offered to criticize your book, you said, "Tell me." Like, I don't. You like, I try to write a good book. I do this thing. I've been a veteran forever. But if you have a criticism, including from Dick Masterson, you take it.
Well, Eric again, his big thing is like, these people have bad intentions. That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Like, people who have bad intentions can offer and often will offer good criticism because they don't give a fuck and they're trying to hurt your feelings with reality. The people who dislike you the most will often cut you to the quick by seeing you more clearly than your friends will. And just
because your friends won't apologize for everything that builds into why you were bad on a particular place. They're like, "Well, he's good everywhere else." You're like, "Well, but that doesn't matter."
Right.
Like in American Beauty, if Kevin Spacey lives, like, it's the worst movie ever. How can you have that happen?
Yeah.
Or if in American Beauty, the fucking guy who's filming The Bag, he kills Kevin Spacey because he wants to fuck his daughter. That's literally the worst movie ever. But the self-ashamed neighbor who is gay tries to go kiss Kevin Spacey, finds out he's not gay, and that he hates himself. And then so he goes and kills Kevin Spacey because he can't put a bullet in his mouth. That's a good movie.
Yeah.
But if you had Kevin Spacey's gay neighbor kill Kevin Spacey because he wasn't gay enough, that's a bad movie. Or if Kevin Spacey killed himself, or his wife killed him because she wanted to fuck the real estate king, or his daughter killed him because she wouldn't go with because he wouldn't approve going with the guy, or the other girl whose virginity he took because he thought she was a whore, or the guy who definitely wasn't ordinary because he jacked off to videos of bags. If any of those people would have killed Kevin Spacey, it's the worst movie ever. But this one guy kills Kevin Spacey because he realizes in a moment that he's actually a faggot, and then he wants to go and butt fuck Kevin Spacey because he thinks he's gay too. Kevin Spacey's like, "No, man, I'm just a guy. I just love you because you exist." And he's like, "But I want to have sex with you because I'm a repressed Nazi gay." And Kevin Spacey's like, "I'm not gay though."
Can you play the video and shut up about American Beauty? Who gives a fuck about American Beauty?
Beauty is one of the greatest movies ever made, Ethan.
It's all right.
I hate you.
Or you're being upset that I won't acknowledge you and publicly worship your every word. Just because I don't listen to you,
that's you, Ethan,
does not mean I don't listen to anybody. Y'all need to learn that you're not the only people in the world, and your word isn't gospel.
Your word ain't gospel.
By the way,
to be
pause
perfect.
Pause it.
Wait, you told me to play it. Now you're telling me.
I know. No, real quick. One of the things that I said that he said in our private phone conversation was, he said to me, "You think you're way more important to the independent comic scene than you are." And he denied having said that, and all his fans said he would never say that. Here it is. He's saying it right here.
This is one amazing thing because like I knew when you said that, I was like, oh shit, this was, people are like, what do you mean a night letter? They're like, this is the night letter. This is the thing. You think you're cool. You're not cool. I'm big shit. Watch me flex my big shit on you. And people are like, nothing he said was was dangerous, all innocuous shit. It's like, no, you're missing the between the lines. The lines are here that you're reading, and then the between the lines is that this guy is threatening. He says,
all right, play the video. Play the video, of course.
Put people in creative leadership roles
So you
to
tell me what to
specifically
do?
check
You
me.
think
Yes,
you're
I will.
important?
I have to.
No,
I'm
the
speaking for
Saska
the chat.
sisters called me the most scrutinized man in comics, and they're right. But it's something that
You're not even close to right. You're not the most scrutinized man in comics. Have you met Mark Wade? Jesus Christ.
I'm going to make a lot of money off of Mark
Folks
Wade.
go over our work. There'll be panel for panel, like anything else. And again, you are free to do that. Chat away. But you can at least be honest about why you're doing it.
Actually, Eric, none of us are free to do that because some of us got the Kiss the Ring memo.
Yeah.
You at least be honest about why you're free to the reason. Let's do this real quick. This is Ethan. I know you want me to play the video because you're a cuck to the fucking chat. I'm just kidding.
I am. Yeah, I like the chat. Go subscribe to Comic Artist Pro Secrets.
No, I don't like the chat. Guys,
on YouTube. Leave
my channel and go subscribe to Ethan Van Skyver. No, here's the thing. He says, he's like, this guy's sitting here. Guys.
I just got 2 subscribers by saying that.
I forgot what he said. I'm not an alcoholic.
I was nice to the chat. I said, go subscribe to Comic Artist Pro Secrets on YouTube. I got 2.
Let's do that. I forgot what he said. Here
comics, and they're right. But it's something that I welcome and anticipate. Folks go over our work. There'll be panel for panel, like anything else. And again, you are free to do that. Chat away. But you can.
No, okay. Yes, that's what it was. We were not free to do that. We were not free to do that. Eric implied to you, is clear to me, you cannot criticize this comic. Like, you can't do it. Like, you can do it, but just so you know, if you do it, all of your associates, panel by panel, all of them might not talk to you ever again. I want to be clear. I think Eric was wrong on that because his associates have never said an untoward word towards me. But the reason that this entire dilemma exists is because people did go through a couple panels to say this wasn't great. That's it. And I've sent messages to you, Ethan, because I'm not an artist, right? You're an artist. You're like a gay drawer or whatever. And I send you a message. I'm like, here's a panel from Isom 1, 2. I don't even know what they are anymore. Like, why is the lighting inconsistent?
It's got 2 more subscribers. Thank you, chat. I love you so much. I'll try to shut this clown up and get him back to the video.
Why is the lighting inconsistent? This is not hard. I can't even draw. And I go, why is the lighting not consistent? Why is there a lens flare over here, but the light source is coming from this way? Right. Why is that? The artist is actually a good artist. I've seen his other work. What happened?
Homosexuality.
Okay.
You can at least be honest about why you're doing it. This whole we're just trying to help trope is extremely disingenuous. There are people that
literally, guys, stop. I'm sorry. There's no benefit to me criticizing Eric. Is there any benefit to you criticizing Eric?
No, I don't get anything out of it at all. I get grief.
Dude, if I ignore Dick Masterson forever and I praise Eric, Isom's the greatest comic of all time. Here's what I gain 30,000 subscribers and probably $100,000 in super chats over the next 12 months.
Let's do it. Fuck it.
Eric is the greatest comic writer of all time. Have you met Ethan Van Skyver? He's trash. I love Eric.
I'll do that. I'll make that video.
I'll wear blackface and do it better.
That think we're supposed to act oblivious to the obvious motivations of certain individuals.
Yes, no motivation. We lose money on this, you
criticism
fucking retard.
And destructive chatter.
Oh, it's so awful.
Someone that seeks to destroy you is not useful. You'd be a fool to prioritize their opinion.
No one sought to destroy you, you fucking idiot. We wanted to make it better. We're baffled by what you did. God damn it.
Opinion, and there's nothing smart or honorable about it.
Fuck
someone
you.
that
Fuck
supports
you right in your mouth.
And they genuinely want to elevate you in ways that ensure you a return, they're valuable. they can be extremely helpful.
3
The people
more
that
subscribers.
though are doing
Thank
it
you,
for a
Chad. I love you.
show are doing it for just that.
Literally no one, Eric, has done this for you. Everybody who said you're great and it's the greatest comics ever, these are my friends. I love these people. They're
Thank
sitting
you,
there.
Chad.
They're sitting there. They're like, Alpha Core is the greatest comic I've ever read. It's like, stop it. Have you never read a comic in your life? I have read Archie comics in the goddamn Family Circus comics in paper. Jesus Christ, you're telling me Alpha Core is the greatest. Their entire monetary benefit from this is higher than what they will gain is higher than what I will lose. Jesus Christ. Because we are negative about the product does not mean we're negative about your success. This is the most fundamental fucking dishonest argument I've ever seen. I have never, ever wanted Eric to fail. He's like, oh, they just want you to fail. They criticize your product. No. What are you talking about? This shit is weird. But the people who say that it's good when it's not, why are they doing it? Eric, those people are making money off of your labor. Do you remember that? Go back to 1840 and see why. Jesus Christ.
2 more subscribers. Thank you, chat. Mwah. Love you very much.
2?
Thank you.
We gained like 9 subscribers.
Yes.
It's embarrassing. You chat. Get over to Comics Artist Pro Secrets on YouTube. Comics Artist Pro Secrets.
It says that right in my my profile, my
I don't
avatar.
care about that. I can't read.
Oh.
A show. It's content farming for views, likes,
Literally
retweets with a
not
side of jabs.
that.
That's your business. But
No.
call it what it is.
God damn it.
No, that's
Ethan.
what Dick Masterson's doing. He's right about that. Like, Dick Masterson has completely blown up his Subscribe Star, his Patreon. He's making $25,000 a month by laughing at Eric July. There's a
I love that
market
faggot.
for it. There's a market for it.
Oh, no, he stopped laughing at Eric July. Maddox.
Oh,
came
now
out
it's
with it.
Maddox. I know.
No, that was the thing. When Eric July was making Dick went from 16 grand to 18 grand with Maddox or with Eric July.
Mm-hmm.
Because people are like, oh yeah, Dick's making fun of a guy. Maddox comes out and drops a video, and he goes from 18 grand to 25 grand a month. He gains 7 grand a month on Maddox. He gains 1,500 to 2 grand a month on Eric July, only because he's so good at it. No one benefits from shitting on Eric July. All of our friends, all of them, are required to worship Eric July. Why? He's a pet black of the conservative movement. He is the token. I'm sorry. He didn't deserve to be that. It's not fair to him. Eric's a unique individual talent.
A good
His own
dancer.
thing. He's wonderful. But sorry, conservatives go, look at the black that we have versus the black that CNN has. And our black has made a comic book. Has Don Lemon ever made a comic book? If he did, would you want to read it? No, because it'd be just 2 gay guys fucking for hours
Yeah.
and saying Biden's the winner or whatever. No one wants that. But I'm sorry. A bunch of people are like, this is a black man who did well. And they're all like shocked. And so then Eric July is great. And it's like, well, we like it.
20 more subscribers, Nick, because you asked them to. 20
course.
more.
20 more.
20 in that one instant.
Guys, how much do I have to make fun of black people to get you to subscribe to Eric or Ethan Van Sciver? Why do I keep calling you Eric? Oh, I'm not
Because our names
intoxicated,
begin with
that's why.
A, and we're looking at an Eric video. So it's
Oh, Ethan, do you
understandable.
like cheesecake? Okay, here we go. Sorry. No, this is the weirdest thing. This is the false fucking thing that Eric is pushing. None of us did what he's saying. None of us did this shit at all.
Right.
Even Dick. Dick made fun of Vito for a year, saying you're jealous because you're making a shitty comic that no one's going to buy, and Eric's making millions of dollars. Comic comes out. He's like, wait, no one's talking about the plot. Everybody's talking about how happy they were they bought it. And he goes, it's probably terrible, but who cares? And then Nina's like, on my show, Nina's like, have you read it? I love Nina, by the way. She goes, have you read it? He goes, have you? She starts reading it on camera. It's the most embarrassing thing I've ever seen. And Dick's like, no, I haven't read it. People are like, review this comic. So he reviews the comic. He's like, well, this isn't good. Here's the notes on it. And Eric's like, yeah, he hates me. Like, what are you talking about? Like, where did this come from? It's the most dishonest, disingenuous bullshit. Nobody's criticizing you because they don't like you, Eric. No one is doing this. Everybody's saying, why are
We
you
have to
acting
keep
like
saying,
this?
I don't dislike you. I like you, Eric. I like you.
You have to say it because he's black. No, Ethan, you know this.
I don't
You
like
know
this. I don't like this guy I'm looking at right now. He's a fucking liar. I don't like what he's saying. I think he's
You have
lying.
to say it because he's black, because he's a
I don't
conservative
care.
black.
I don't give a shit.
Glenn Beck
he's sitting
hired
there,
a black guy.
He's telling lies on his big YouTube channel.
Fucking
about
hate
me.
this.
Why do I have to like that? I don't like that.
You don't have to,
That
but
doesn't
everybody
make me
else
happy.
does. Everybody
I
else
look
has
at him.
to like
I
him
look at
because
his
they're like,
big
well,
bloated face with his big goofy beard. That's way out of whack. Fucking trim that shit. And I see him telling lies about me and my friends, and playing the victim and crying and stuff. He's made $7 million, and he can't just be happy about it.
And then 8 million. Wait,
8 million, maybe? I don't know.
I
And sitting there crying the blues and attacking me and with lies. I mean, God forbid. Listen, why? Why must I sit there and say, no, I like you, Eric? No, Eric, as you're sitting there making videos saying that I must hate you. Eventually, when you say things like that, it's going to come true. I don't like Eric July very much right now because he's doing shit like this.
Very offensive.
I know.
How many
it's
slaves
shocking.
do you want to own per day?
How many what?
Slaves do you want to own?
I don't want to own any. It has nothing to do
Oh,
with
wow.
racism.
I thought you were just a racist.
All I'm saying is, I look at this, and I'm not going to sit there like I am not a liar. Okay, I'm not somebody who lies. I don't care about YouTube clout. I could give a fuck. Although, if I could get some subscribers from your chat,
I hate you so much, man.
I love it.
Here's the thing. I'm stupid, and I'm the worst YouTube content creator because I don't give a shit what people say about me. Like, okay. Misinterpretation, whatever, you say a negative thing, I'm like, all right.
No, it's not even that. I have actual legitimate talent.
I
don't need.
I don't, Ethan. I am seriously out here begging for soggy bread on the free. I go up to homeless people like, what have you got today? Can I have half of it?
Yeah.
I can't draw. You want me to draw you a stick figure? I can't. It's curved.
Right.
Have you ever drawn
all
a
I'm
stick figure
saying
that's
is this.
curved even, Ethan?
No. Everybody says that. Like, they go, you can draw. I can't even draw a stick figure. I can't even draw a straight line. That's how I know humans are all robots. All I'm saying is this. I don't like this. This person that I see in front of me right here. This person.
Look at my drawing of Muhammad. You gonna do this? Oh,
how is that Muhammad? That's a woman.
That's not the woman. Muhammad was a beautiful feminine man. Well, I will burn you to a bed either by the sky and we will throw you from the rooftops.
Oh my God!
I'm kidding. Go on.
All right, here we go.
Let's
see more of this
everything
video.
you've ever said in my life.
I know.
No, it's a weird thing because none of us did this. He's strawmanning everything, and he's strawmanning because he's putting a straw in a malt liquor. Is that racist? It's racist. We're gonna go with racist.
These are lies.
There are also goofballs that have
racist.
recently used this criticism lie to boost themselves up and conflate two concepts. They try to conjure a
Stop it, you fucking retard. None of us got subscribers from criticizing you. Fuck off.
fake narrative only so they can suggest that they're the ones that are high and mighty and they can just take criticism, even though
Does this motherfucker pretend that like liberals who hate Eric July, who are like, yeah, he's bad because they said he's bad, are like subscribing to you or me?
I don't know. I don't know what this is. This is like bizarre.
It's like someone going, oh, he doesn't want to shop at Sam's Club anymore, so he goes to Costco, and I'm Costco. Stop
How about
it.
if you just enjoy yourself and run your business?
we know that's not true. Get over yourself. It shouldn't surprise me, though, that drama farmers act like drama queens. Comics isn't for the faint of heart, but it isn't some nerd blood sport either. Just keep it 100 with your motivations and
I literally said for months, I don't even talk about this. I don't want drama. I don't want blood sports. I hate drama. I don't care about fucking anything. He's like, well, inner drama farmers. None of these people are drama farmers, you motherfucker. None of you dishonest piece of shit. God fuck.
stop with a facade that you're trying to help me or the industry out.
Literally
If you truly want someone to be great, you want to be as clear and concise as possible with your approach. It makes no sense that someone that supposedly just wants to help does everything except pick up the phone and contact the person directly when you have the contact and you're on speaking terms with them.
Fuck
Pause
off.
this. So this is the thing about the text message that he sent me. Understand that at some point,
It's also me, by the way, but go on.
Yeah, trust is broken at some point. I can't trust you. You send me text messages threatening me, and I can't. We're not friends at that point. We're not in a situation where I can pick up the phone and have a conversation with you. It's just not something that we do. We're not cool like that at that point. Is that hard to understand? You could just pick up the phone. No, I don't trust you. I think you're dangerous at that point. You're sitting there saying that unless I get in line and stop associating with people who I like who don't like you, then there's going to be problems for me. I can't talk to you on the phone after that. That's not something that we can do. We're not friends after that.
So Eric on my show, he comes on my show and he says, hey, did you contact your boy, your partner, Dick Masterson, privately? And I said, actually, yeah. He said, hey, man, this is fucking up my shit. Like, you're talking about my friend. Like, what's my friend Eric? What's going on? I don't want to do this. I don't want to be in this. And Dick's like, well, throw me under the bus or whatever. Like, he's like, you do whatever to me and I don't give a shit. So fuck me over. Fine. Do what you need to do for you. Like, well, I'm not going to do that, though, because I have like this thing called integrity where I have an opinion and my opinion is not based on your benefit to me. So I go, all I want from Eric, all I want is the proof that he promised. And this is critical to everybody. Guys, Eric July promised on a video proof that Dick and Vito interfered with his business. And what he meant at the time was that they, not a guy named Obtuse Known, published or created this email to Isom for the purposes of getting Eric's comic book embroiled in a trademark lawsuit. Let's be very clear on two things. First of all, that's not illegal. If you believe that someone is violating the law, you could, in good I don't like this, but you could, in good conscience and good faith and fully legally, contact the aggrieved party and say, hey, someone is violating your intellectual property. You can say that. They can say yes, no, whatever. That's the first thing. The second thing is I never said that any of that was valid. I actually said I'm not a big fan of that. Whatever. Doesn't matter. What happened after that, though, was that they did that, and then Eric promised receipts were coming. And I said, I don't think the receipts are coming because I know these guys. And I just flat out asked him, I said, Dick, did you interfere with Isom's thing? And he says, no, I wish I would have. Let's be very clear on this. I wish I would have because it's funny, but he didn't do that. Dick would just admit it. Eric has maintained the entire time that Dick and Vito did this thing, and he's maintained it in a very vague way lately because he can't prove it, that Dick and Vito did this thing and they're responsible for all of his legal woes and his professional woes and whatever. By the way, Alpha Court, Ethan, let's be honest on this. Alpha Court doing 1.1 million is embarrassing, right?
It's a tragedy.
Disaster.
It's a disaster. No kidding. It's going to pay for 6 months of employee salaries, according to his transparency statement.
Yaira better do 4 million.
Yaira might do better, but you know what's coming up after that is the Gooding book, and that's going to hit 500,000. That is going to be a
Yaira
fucking
has
catastrophe.
to do. Yaira has to do it. The simps have to support.
Come out in droves.
You
for the ladies.
You better pay those Brazilian chicks for their self-insert tits on Yaira.
It doesn't look good either. The pages, excuse me. I mean, it doesn't look like it's that great.
I've never seen good art from anything in Ripper. I want to, Ethan. I want to. People misunderstand me. Like, I am gay. I'm a stupid lawyer, but I buy art that is 5 figures plus. Like, I buy it as a hobby. It's funny to me. And I consistently look at the fucking Ripperverse art and I go, this is shitty art. Like, I'm not an artist. I can't draw better. But I can look at this and go, why is the lighting like this? You have lighting that's over here, casting shadows this way, which means is somehow behind the subject, even though there's no light source, but it's behind the subject casting shadows this way. But your actual lighting in the scene is over here. and it's producing a glare off the barrel of a gun over.
Well,
on this
it's
side.
because he's using something called the artist is using something called they're using 3D models. They're using SketchUp and SketchUp, and then other tools where you can get anything. You can get a truck, you can get a specific doorway, you can get a specific building, and you can shoot it from any angle. You can run it through a filter, put it down as a comic book panel. You can render it a little bit, throw little noodles on it, and call it your art. Same thing with figures. They have figures, men in suits, women in pantsuits, women in bikinis, whatever you want. You can pose them in different ways. But the problem with doing that and tracing them is that artists know, like, you have to adapt. I don't want to get into it too much. There's one scene where, like, Isom is laying on a couch, and the guy just took a figure of Isom and just laid him on the couch. And the figure has no weight. He's not exerting weight on the couch. His body isn't reacting to the couch. These are things that artists know to do, that 3D model sketch programs don't know how to do. Eric is paying for this. He's paying for this guy to do this. And
It's wild.
He's
a good artist. I've seen his other art, and it's not bad. It's bad here.
He doesn't seem to care. So, he's rushing out these comics that are utilizing all these 3D assets and congratulating himself for getting books out on time. He's spending way too much money on a warehouse with 15-something employees who he's
Why do you
paying
have a 9,000 square foot warehouse to deliver one book a year? Maybe 2 books, even 4 books a year. Why do you have a 9,000 square foot warehouse?
I don't know,
man. You
man.
can do this from a storage unit that costs $100 a month.
All I'm saying is it doesn't look good, and I understand Eric's anger. He's scared and he's angry. But he's taking it out on the wrong person, and frankly, on the wrong people. I didn't mean him any harm, but this is going on way too long. There's way too much anger over this.
He could have been angry over this. He could have redeemed himself by resolving this early. He should have resolved it from the get-go. But you can forgive a YouTube creator who's made his business of monetizing haters from, like, playing it out a little bit. Now it's ridiculous. None of us want him to fail. Raw Dog U says, your friend is an asshole, Nick. I think you mean Dick Masterson. Get over it. Yeah, Dick is an asshole. Do you think that doesn't make him right? Go read Isom 1 and go read Dick's criticism. Go read it instead of listening to Eric retardedly trying to apologize for it. So if he was against you with ridiculous accusations and trouble causing, you would be a little mad too, to be real. Let's be very serious on this. Raw Dog U, as someone who's sat on the board of charitable foundations worth millions of dollars, I would literally never have solicited donations to produce something that costs $2.50 and then said, we will cover the rest of the cost, which is maybe $4, and then charged $15 a product. Either that's crazy, right? We know it costs $2.50 to produce a book. Maybe you could generously say $4 or $5 a book for shipping, but you say it's bulk shipping. You go on a live stream and you say, well, it's bulk shipping, so it's actually cheaper than $5 a book. And you go, okay, I wasn't looking for that, but like if you want to make it $4.50 a book, you go, well, it's okay. So the cost of the book plus the shipping is this much because that's how many books you literally delivered. And then you go, but we took in this much money. You go, that's higher than the other thing. How do you take money in that didn't get spent out? Like, that doesn't make sense. And then I ask him a very specific question. If someone clicks the button to buy one book that costs $15, does it cost $15 to put one book on a pallet and ship it? Ethan, what's the answer to that question? Yes is the answer. Don't even answer.
The answer is yes, of course.
Of course, if you're asking $15 to ship one book to one cripple, yes, it's $15. The reason is because that's what you charge. If you charge $12, it's $12. If you charge $10, it's $10. Oh my God, because the reason you charge that price is because that's what it takes to get the one guy to get off his phone and stop masturbating. Don't go to the bathroom and go to the shelf, grab the book and put it on the pallet. That's it. Costs $10. Got it. $250 for the book, $750 for the labor, whatever it is, and the shipping. It's fine. No one cares. No one actually cares what the price is. But Eric goes, yeah, it costs that much. But if you buy like 10, it costs less. Like, stop. Why are you doing this? Why are you giving numbers that isn't $17? You told me it's $17.50 a book. He's like, but with bulk shipping is actually $14. No, it's $17.50 a book. Why would you ask for $17.50 a book to send a comic to a crippled kid who's going to die in 2 years? And read Alpha Core is the last thing they read, and they're going to go, like, well, I wish this was a Predator book.
Just give them the money. I mean, it was a bad idea. The idea of sending comic books out.
Don't do charity.
Well, go ahead and do charity, but just send money.
No, Ethan, don't do charity. Yeah, yes, you do charity. Your business, your book doesn't do charity. You do charity because you're like, oh, I made $1 million. Here's $100,000 in charity. Do that.
10% of your income. It's crazy.
Yeah, why would you do that? What are you, Democrat?
$100
in charity.
There you go. Perfect.
I piss in the mouth of Democrats. Wait, here we go. We're not going to do this very much longer because I need to go to bed.
Yeah.
5 seconds. Still sober, Ethan. Don't you fucking
Sure.
What are you, Eric July, accusing me of being drunk?
You want them to improve after all.
Yes.
Direct contact is substantive. Instead, you fire up streams and tweets and start gossiping like women.
No one does
Never
that.
directly contacting the person, treating everything like it needs to be a show.
Okay, I gotta stop. This is the last time. I'm fucking done. Stop screaming. Fuck you, Eric. Eric did this to me. And he's like, why did you privately contact your partner? Talking to Dick Masters. And I said, yeah, actually I did. What'd you say? I said, well, hey man, you're fucking my life up. Like, can you stop messing with Eric July? I like him. I like his thing. You said that? Yeah. Why didn't you contact me? I said, because Eric, you didn't do anything wrong. Why would I contact you? You at the beginning.
Yeah.
Dick came out and criticized Eric. I said, Eric, you didn't do anything wrong. Like, you made a thing. There's criticism or whatever, and you didn't listen to it. Fine. You did the thing. You made the book. You sold the book. I like the book. I want everybody to buy it. You didn't do anything wrong. He's like, oh, okay. But listen to him now. Firing up streams, doing this thing, blah, blah, blah. No one tried to profit off your shit except you. No one tried to profit off of Isom. Eric did very much try to profit off of Isom. He tried to cover up the fact that his book is shit, his art is shit, everything about it is shit. But people criticized it. They must be liberal. They must be woke. Therefore, they're haters. Therefore, he can sell more books. Right? Am I wrong in this, Ethan? Tell me.
I think, he's just saying that you must have an ulterior motive of shutting me down, and it must be jealousy.
Yeah. It's crazy. Eric. Yeah, I'm jealous. You know why? Because I could write a book while shitting in 20 minutes. Because we're going to end the show in 20 minutes or less. And go up to the bathroom. I'm going to take a shit. I could write a book better than Isom. I haven't even read Isom. I know it will be better. It will be better than Isom 1 and 2 combined. It will be better than Alpha Core. Isom number 2 doesn't even follow Isom number. Didn't matter. I could do that right now. You know why? Because I would write Lindsay Lohan's transition from a Disney queen into a whore. But she would have superpowers. And she would trap Justin Bieber into a $7 million divorce settlement. She'd never have to work again. Be better than Alpha Core. Don't look at me like
I'm
that.
not saying you wouldn't. I'm just saying why.
Why would I write that? Because it'd be better than Isom 1 and 2. Because it's not hard to beat the basic bitch hero narrative. Because all Eric had to do. So this is the funniest thing I did to Dick. I wrote this very complex tweet about how like Alpha Core should have worked out. He sends back to me. He goes, no, that's how it like would have worked out if that was a writer. But instead, Eric tried to write a detective novel into Isom, but he failed at every aspect of the detective novel. I was like, why would he try to write a detective novel? That's hard. You should have just written a hero's journey. That's easy. You just make him Luke and make him whiny. A detective has to be smart, Ethan.
Right. Yes.
A fucking retard like Luke Skywalker has to be an idiot. Because like, why is Han Solo not having sex with a big hairy Patrick Ewing called Chewbacca? Like, well, I don't know why, but they hang out a lot. Luke is an idiot.
Mm-hmm.
Is that true? Do you think Luke is smart?
Luke Skywalker is not smart, no.
I thought I was going to remove you because I thought you were going to say it was. Let's stop this. Ethan, I love you. Let's read a couple of super chats. We'll do this. Don't you dare call me an alcoholic. Jason TGA says,